Prep Sports Show. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot. AZ Preps 365. Saturday mornings 8 till 10 on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm State School Superintendent Tom Horn. We need to improve students' proficiency in reading and math, which is my highest priority. I'm therefore providing $40 million for free one-on-one tutoring for all public and charter school students from first grade to high school, regardless of their proficiency level. And participating teachers earn money, which they deserve for their work to improve students' learning. Sign up at azed.gov.
Sponsored by the Arizona Department of Education.
If you're rolling over your 401k to an IRA soon, but not sure if you want to go all in on this crazy market, here's what many retiring professionals are doing. How about a safe and secure IRA offering a contractually guaranteed 10% income bonus that grows 7% annually guaranteed? Your income can double in 10 years. Meanwhile, neither your principal nor your retirement income is ever subjected to a market downturn. Even if the market crashes by 50%, you get the 10% bonus. Your income keeps growing at 7%, and your principal may grow without losses uncapped. You go up with the index, never down, forward, never back. Get a 10% income bonus with a 7% contractually guaranteed growth rate. I compare over 1,200 annuities with a fiduciary duty and can help you retire and stay retired.
Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now. Visit IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com.
AZ Preps 365, your source for all the news, info, highlights, and more. Athlete news and interviews. Talk with coaches. Keep you up to date with the changes, moves, upcoming events, and more. AZ Preps 365, Arizona's ultimate prep sports show. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot. AZ Preps 365, Saturday mornings 8 till 10 on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CDP at 99.3 FM, K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Tuesday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside not Randy White. He fell off the roof. He was up there working on his weather equipment because he missed the 100-degree day that happened on Sunday, damned and determined to make sure everything was working right, and then he fell off. He sneezed, and he fell off the roof. He sneezed, and the sneeze up against the satellite dish pushed him backwards, and he fell right onto the grass. And, yeah, he's taking the day off. So he fell off the roof. You know, he was not thrown off the roof. He fell off the roof. In case anybody asked, he fell off the roof. Do you understand what I'm saying, Keon?
I do.
He fell off the roof. In no way am I to be implicated in throwing him off the roof.
It just seems awfully suspicious when you phrase it that way.
It's not suspicious. For legal purposes, you just need to repeat. Jeffrey, you did not throw Randy off the roof.
I assumed you didn't throw Randy
No.
off the roof.
You have to say, I remember. I was there. I saw you did not throw Randy off the roof. Go ahead.
You did not throw Randy off the roof?
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. I didn't throw him off the roof. I have in the past thrown people off roofs. There have been times I've thrown people off roofs. Well, when I was a teenager, I threw my best friend Jeff Funicello off of the roof, and he landed nice and safely on the grass, and we had a big laugh about it because he was able to tuck and roll. It was only a one-story house.
Still.
But yeah, I just do have a tendency.
It's in the past. Yeah, it's in the history.
Yeah, okay. So if anybody, I just wanted to make sure this was recorded and documented, well documented, that I did not throw Randy off the roof.
No, it's definitely recorded.
So anyway,
I have a feeling Randy might dispute it. That's
with any luck, he'll be back tomorrow. But so today is not just Tuesday. It's not just the Suns coming back to try to beat the Timberwolves Day. It's also National Email Day. And it's National Email Day because it's the birthday of Ray Tomlinson, the guy who invented email back in. Do you know how far back they invented email? Do you know? Without looking at Google?
The 80s?
1971.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He invented it in 1970. He died in 2016, and his last words were, "This meeting could have been an email." And he was dead. That was the end of it. So today, National Email Day. Now, I wonder, email might be going the way of the dodo. I mean, we use it in business, but do you use it in regular life? Are you ever emailing people? No, you're texting them. You're sending them a quick little text. So it used to be a beautiful handwritten letter that you would fold up, put in an envelope, put a stamp on it, send it, wait a couple of weeks, and you might hear back. Then we got email. Email, we sent it, and maybe, that day you'd hear back, or in a couple of days. And now we've got instantaneous. If somebody doesn't respond to your text within, say, 10 minutes, you're like, you son of a bitch. You better be at the doctor's or something, because you have no reason not to respond to my text.
Yeah, I can see that. Because most people just have their phone on them. So it's
exactly.
Just like if you in your phone notification for your text will go off, I think, more clearly than for the email.
The worst are my stupid kids. Let me tell you what happens there. My kids, whenever I try to text them, I won't hear back from them for days. Or I'll hear back from them, randomly. But whenever they're with me, constantly on their phone, you're ignoring me. You're ignoring. Now I get it. I'm dad, so that's normal for all of us dads to get ignored. I didn't know that at first, so I was taking it really personally. And then you do a thing where you go out to an event and there's a bunch of parents standing around, and you start talking about it, and you're like, oh, still, I don't think I should accept that. But the kids are just not interested in interacting with us.
Yeah, it's just like that for some reason.
But I'm the guy who paid for the phone.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who can put parental restrictions on the phone.
Once upon a time when I had my first cell phone, and it was a Verizon Envy.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, my dad was basically like, listen, if I call you, answer the phone. Because if you don't answer the phone, I'm going to have to take the phone. And then you won't have a phone.
Yeah, I might need to implement that.
I answered him every time.
Yeah, I don't want to be heavy-handed.
He was, but you don't have to be.
But I will be. So anyway, National Email Day for those of you who still celebrate. By the way, we're in the middle of Passover too.
Oh yeah,
I forgot what that means.
It's
stuff that happens at night, and I overheard Radio Ron talking, and it's only a couple days, but it's kind of not a couple days.
Yeah, I think it's the celebration of when they were leaving Egypt, and they put blood on their doorpost, and the angel passed over their houses, and yeah.
Okay, so in Israel, Passover is the 7-day holiday of the Feast of the Unleavened Bread, which I love bread. I love bread,
even bread that doesn't rise.
Oh, I don't care. I'll eat a cracker. I'll eat the thin crust pizza as much as the regular crust. I'm easy. First and last days are celebrated as legal holidays. What the hell does that mean? Am I going to get served if I know that with the Catholics, there's the mortal sins. Like, you got to go to church on Easter and Christmas or you're going to hell. Damn. So I guess it's another thing for our Jewish friends. It's a legal holiday.
Yeah, a rabbi's going to show up and just hand you papers.
No, he's not going to even bother. He's going to show up and poke you in the eye. What's wrong with you? And I guess there's meals involved, special prayer services, and you're not supposed to go to work. I in no way saw Radio Ron today at work. I've said that for the record. It's been recorded and it's been said live. So I did not throw Randy off the roof, and I did not see Radio Ron at work. It's all you people need to know.
Exactly. I don't know what I'm signing on for here. I just
You just go along with what I'm saying, and you'll be fine. By the way, take a look at you and me. Yesterday, we both wore red on the same day. Today, we both wore black on the same day.
Were we both wearing red
Yes,
yesterday?
yes. If you look at the video thing, it's kind of weird. We have a subconscious link. We're not calling each other like, so, hey, Sam, what you wearing today? I'd punch you in the face if you did that. So that's not happening.
I have a pile of laundry, just clothes I've washed but not folded, and this was at the top of the pile.
I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason to how I dress. Look at me. So anyway, I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's kind of mildly interesting. So let's talk about what everybody really wants to talk about. The Lakers. Now, Ralph might join us later on in the program, and I think he's joining us later on in the program because he knows there's no way we can resist laughing our asses off about what happened last night right now.
I mean, how could we not? It's deeply hilarious. The collapse.
Yeah. Most people, and Keon was telling me about how he thought and how I thought, and even Mark Ashler from Money Radio thought when we all got cozy and went to bed last night. I guess the Lakers got one. I guess the Lakers got this. I tuned in. I was like, I ain't going to sit here and watch these a-holes click. And I just figured they won. I was like, I guess it's their turn. And you thought the same thing, right?
Yeah, and normally I'm the dork. I'll sit there and watch the whole thing, but since I had to be up this morning, I decided to crawl myself to bed and get a full night's sleep.
20-point lead. The Lakers had a 20-point lead.
It seemed safe.
That's you know what you shouldn't have, because we've seen the Lakers do this before.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the playoffs, and so they worked at it, they scrapped at it, and then they figured it out, and at the end, Jamal Murray broke every Laker fan's heart, and it was over. It was just a shot at the buzzer beater. 20 points.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, this makes me think maybe they won't get swept because they're going home now. They're going home, and they kept it close with the Nuggets. You know what I'm saying? Well, they had them beat there for half a minute. What happened, by the way? What the hell? The Lakers are screaming, oh, it's the officiating. It's bad officiating. And, everybody's angry. So what's the truth? What is the real truth about this, Keon?
I mean, the truth is that because the Lakers aren't hung up on every bad call. They're hung up on one call in the third quarter where D'Angelo Russell got fouled, and he did get fouled, and it went to New York for review, and New York was like, no, you didn't. No, you weren't. And to me, it looked like the Lakers let that get inside their heads, and they just fell apart after that. Like, they just weren't as locked in after that foul call. Like it to the point where the game's over and LeBron's at the press conference talking about the foul call and how disappointed he was before, getting up and storming out of the interview or whatever. They never let that go, and they needed to, because they still had enough game time. I think they were still up 10 at that point when that foul was called. So I'm trying to understand why a team like that would let that basically collapse them, but it seems like that's what happened.
Well, the collapse was not all the officiating. And that's what we said about the Suns the other day. We didn't even look at the stats on that because the Suns just got their asses kicked. But there have been times in the past where the free throw disparity was so obvious, it's worth mentioning. You hate to say the officiating is the reason for a loss, whether you lose or win. You just hate to bring that into it. But if there is bad officiating, it does bear mentioning. And I tell you, with the LeBron James complaining about it and other players, you said some other players went online.
Russell went on Twitter and said, there it is, fouled on national TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with these guys now, the NBA, the players have more power than any other sport, right? Which sport do they have the most power to say, hey, here's the thing I don't like, this needs to get fixed? Is it the NBA? Because I feel like it's the NBA.
It's either the NBA or Major League Baseball.
Okay,
Just because the players' union in baseball is just so.
Can I just tell you why I don't believe in that? Because Trevor Bauer is not playing baseball right now.
Well,
Trevor
yeah.
Bauer talks so much crap directly about Rob Manfred. He'll never play again. Now,
But
yes,
you can get blackballed in the NBA too. Like it's less
who's
likely
been blackballed in the NBA?
It's less likely to happen. I mean, it happened, in the 90s more than any time recently, but it's still it can happen. If the owners don't want you in the league, you're just not in the league. Like that's.
But but back to what I'm trying to say. So in the NBA, if LeBron James starts complaining about the reviews and he starts complaining about the officiating, feel like that's going to get more action. More people will pay attention to that. Adam Silver is like, well, okay, now we got a PR problem, and then maybe he'll have to say a thing, and maybe the unions will have to all say a thing.
I mean, and this is not new to that extent.
Because if you were right and Major League Baseball had more power, there'd be no Angel Hernandez. There'd be no other guy with weird names.
Well, that's the thing is we're talking about the players, because in the NBA, they can't control their officials either. There wouldn't be a Scott Foster.
Yeah. That's true.
There wouldn't be a Tony Brothers.
But there is a point, though. There is a point where they've all been kind of chill and they sort of growl loud a little bit here and there. But if LeBron is sitting there on a camera and other guys are going online, and then you got the 76ers who are doing what they're doing with, filing actual grievances, enough of this starts to happen, one of these sports might actually start to see some change. Because it ain't going to be the NFL anytime soon. It's not going to be Major League Baseball anytime soon. But if the NBA is able to accomplish this, then I got hope that the other sports could do the same.
Yeah, I think the NBA is just very transparently what is going to cost us money. And if it's going to cost us money to have the officiating be one way, we will change it. And that we've seen that this season. They're calling less fouls. People were complaining. Even casual basketball fans were like, I don't want to see a game 145 to 139. And all of a sudden, feeling like overnight, they started calling the fouls differently. And look at these playoff games. We're getting games like 107, 104, 95, 85.
Yeah.
Like those are the games that we're getting because they're adjusting to the fact that people don't want to watch no defense. And so if LeBron's saying this or the 76ers saying this makes it so that the fans agree, the NBA will change their tune because they're chasing dollars.
602 Pats fan says, of course, LaFlop James is complaining about the refs for not getting calls his way. Yeah, he is. And he always, is dealt with it on the court. I don't remember hearing him complain much about officiating off the court.
I mean, he's done it before. I remember in Miami, he's like, I get fouled all the time. And
all right, well, that's not the same as saying what he said last night.
Yeah, but that's different because he was picking on a very specific example to explain why he thinks that the replay either is disappointing or doesn't work. So yeah, it is very, very much different. I think also with LeBron, what makes it harder for people to sympathize with him on that is that they had the giant lead. You just you sound bitter.
Right. And also the fact that the Lakers are the darlings of never being called for fouls and getting away with flops and all that stuff. So they have benefited from bad officiating way more than they have been hurt by it.
Yeah, I can see that. It's
they're usually on the hey, we're shooting lots of free throws tonight end of things, not on the we didn't shoot any free throws.
Ask the poor Raptors. Like they were attacking the basket. The Lakers were attacking the basket. The Lakers shot almost double the free throws in the second half of that game than the Raptors did, and it was one of the moments in the season where just a coach just had a meltdown at a press conference because he's like, I don't know what to do if they're going to call the fouls like this.
Right.
So you get one bad call against you. And it wasn't like bad officiating the whole game, or at least not up to where I was watching. I had to watch highlights this morning to find out what happened in the second half. But like it was one bad call in a game that seemed to be otherwise officiated pretty well. So that doesn't lend itself to LeBron's case either.
So here we are. The Lakers gave up a 20-point lead. I would rather lose by 25 points the way we did the other day than give up a giant lead. What do you think?
The blowing the lead is worse to me. I think psychologically, if you just get blown out, you can look at the stat sheet and go, we turned the ball over too much. We didn't rebound enough. Maybe the shots just weren't falling. You had the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what went wrong? And it could be any number of things.
And you blew it. Mr. Wilbur says 99 bottles of beer on the wall. Take one down and Denver hits a bucket at the buzzer. And then you have 101 bottles of beer on the wall. Suck it, Ralph. See, that makes a lot of sense now. That Mr. Wilbur, he drank himself blind. I think that's what it was. So many things make so much sense now. 602 Pats fan says, either way, go Suns. They have to win today. Well, yeah, I agree. Who knows what'll happen, and I'm happy to enjoy the misery of Ralph and the Laker fans, but then there's that always looming right there. It's like, how much should I be happy? What's karma going to do to me here?
That's the thing.
Because at 4:30, our own pain and misery could begin, or it could be a great thing. I'm angry that the game is on during this show, because there's no way I could get home in time to watch the rest of it. So I'm aggravated.
Yeah, it sucks for us.
But I'll listen to it on Sirius XM. I'm not listening to the other station.
Well,
screw those guys.
Why would you do that?
Hell with that. So, all right. So the Nuggets now 2-0 over the Lakers. This is the game that makes me question whether or not that they will actually pull off a sweep. I think the Lakers are going to get at least one at home, and Denver will take care of business when they get home.
If the Lakers can let go of that foul, because if they're still focused on that, I don't know if that's happening.
They're seem
good
to have
enough.
that kind of petty.
They're talented enough, but I mean, LeBron James has an open three to win the game. He could have had the game winner, and he misses it. And it's just for you to go to the press conference and you're still talking about something that happened in the third quarter. Did you ever let that go?
Does Scott Foster have a problem with somebody on the Lakers now? Because I always thought it was like his biggest beef was with CP3.
Not really. Scott Foster's biggest problems or biggest beef is CP3 and James Harden. Those are the two guys that you see them on the floor and you see Scott Foster, something bad's going to happen to one of those guys. But he doesn't really have a whole lot of ongoing stuff with a bunch of other people. He doesn't like Paul George very much, but it's not at the same level.
Well, with the way LeBron James has gone off publicly, I don't understand what's going on in the replay center, to be honest. Makes no sense to me. It bothers me. And then I saw what happened with the Sixers-Knicks game. Like, what are we doing? So he is now scorching all officiating, but specifically in what happened in his game last night. Wonder if that's going to rub old Scotty Foster the wrong way. I hope it does.
Maybe, but it's probably going to rub Adam Silver the wrong way. I expect a fine.
You are probably correct. 888-368-1580. We're going to take a break. We'll get back to the text line, and we will talk about the 76ers game as well and take a look at what's going to happen with the Suns coming up here in just a little bit. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The Diamondbacks are in Busch Stadium tonight to continue their series with the St. Louis Cardinals. It'll be Steven Matz going for the Cardinals, while Tommy Henry will counter for Arizona. The Diamondbacks getting a run and a half, minus 184 on the run line, while the Cardinals minus a run and a half, plus 152. On the money line, Arizona plus 116, St. Louis minus 134, with the over-under at Busch Stadium at 8.5. NBA tonight, the Phoenix Suns in Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves. Game 2 of their playoff series. Minnesota 3-point favorite, over under 211.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Eucora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health products. Eucora is helping over 100,000 women stay healthy. Ready to join them? Get 30% off at ucora.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
AZ Preps 365, your source for all the news, info, highlights, and more. Athlete news and interviews. Talk with coaches. Keep you up to date with the changes, moves, upcoming events, and more. AZ Preps 365, Arizona's ultimate prep sports show. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot. AZ Preps 365, Saturday mornings 8 till 10 on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Let's say you've got questions. You're looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Well, Harmon Solar has the answers. Hi, I'm Jeffrey O'Brien, and listen, there's a couple of ways you can go here. One, visit harmonsolar.com, browse around, because right across the page, they got links to all sorts of great information, like frequently asked questions, equipment, tax credits, even testimonials. Or just give them a call, 800-281-3189. Ask them directly. They'd love to hear from you. That's 800-281-3189. Or just go to harmonsolar.com.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
You're expanding your business and need to add to your fleet. Maybe you need another semi-truck or trailer. Don't have the cash? I can help. I'm Dylan Cohen at JR Capital, and we offer no money down financing on new and used trucks and trailers. Whether you're an owner-operator or a fleet manager, I'll get the vehicles you need with a simple application and same-day approval. It's faster and easier than asking your banker. Call me, Dylan Cohen, at 602-834-7353. Or visit moneyradio.com and click on Finance with Dylan.
Hi, I'm Ralph Romano.
And I'm Neil Lynch.
And we're the Weekend Warriors.
So, Ralph, what are the Weekend Warriors all about?
Well, we talk about sports.
National sports?
Of course.
Regional sports?
Sure.
Arizona sports?
Yeah. And we also interview local athletes, coaches, and sports-related business owners to share their amazing stories.
But what if they don't have an amazing story?
Then we talk about something else. You know what, Neil? You're fired.
Again? Well, listen in for great sports talk, amazing interviews, and to see if I have a job next week.
You won't. It's the Weekend Warriors every Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Today, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. You know, sometimes somebody wants to throw a conspiracy theory my way. I'm usually, taking it with a grain of salt. Maybe I'll roll my eyes a little bit. My wife came at me with one. She's like, I don't have any pockets in anything I wear. There's no women don't have any pockets on any of their clothes. It's like, where are you going to hold that? Well, I guess that's why I got to put it in my purse. And I'm asking, well, how come your clothes don't have pockets? And she says, you know what I think it is? I think it's just the influence of big handbag, trying to make sure we buy more purses. It's just, that undue influence, selling more handbags. And I'm like, I want to argue with you on that. But
it does make sense.
That does make a lot of sense. Like, they're under influence of who makes the handbags?
I mean, a lot of times it's the same people who make the clothes.
Okay.
So that's why I think it makes sense.
Well, you're going to buy our pants, but you're going to need our handbags as well.
Yeah.
That's genius.
Kind of evil, but
it's going to be bad news if this gets around. I don't know if she's safe right now. Of course, we just said it on the radio, so I don't know if we're safe right now.
Good point.
Well, whatever. It was a fascinating thought process. It does make sense. Big George says, hello, gentlemen. Happy Taco Tuesday. What a great day yesterday. Both the Lakers and the Kings blew huge leads. I didn't know that about the Kings.
I didn't know the Kings either.
Ralph was like, he's like, I'm not even going to watch the Lakers. I'll check the score. I'm just watching the Kings.
Uh-oh. As it turns out, he was watching the same story in a different jersey.
Same. And
on ice. Lakers on ice.
I don't know what version of Ralph we're going to get today.
I don't know either, honestly. The most bitter version He's going to be snapping at everybody.
We may not even be able to tell the difference, though. To be honest.
That's also true.
Quiet Cannon says, I listened to the Suns games. The damn system is messing up again. I'm trying to click on his thing, but it's only there it is. I listen to the Suns games on the radio, and the announcers are constantly saying the Suns players are getting knocked down and there's no foul called. Is that actually true, or what the hell is going on? Are the Suns just fragile? There is a lot of truth to that. There is a lot of truth to that, and there is a free throw disparity, but there wasn't in this last game. I'm just going to say they just got their asses kicked. Quiet Cannon. But there are occasions where, the Suns just don't get the calls. Either they're aggravated at the constant whining of Devin Booker, or they're giving it to bigger stars. I don't know. Why do you think the Suns get hosed over on that board?
I mean,
and the 76ers think they're the most hosed over, but we've seen plenty of times where the Suns got hosed.
Yeah. I just think that the Suns, the way that the team's been put together, I think this version of the team with Beal and Durant is the most extreme version of it. But even before them, the Suns just shoot a lot of jumpers. Like there's some of these calls you're just not going to get shooting jumpers, even if you do wind up getting fouled. Like the fouls that look worse and get the whistles are the ones where you put your head down and go to the basket, force the official to make a decision.
Shooter McGavin says, I don't know what that guy's talking about. Kings were down 3-0 before you could blink. Oh,
okay. Well,
no,
this is still funny. I mean, I don't think it's
George's story was more interesting than yours, Shooter McGavin. I don't know what's going on. So the Kings were down 3-0. Oh, what's the score? What's the final score on that damn game? Because maybe the other team went up, and I don't know. In soccer and in hockey, a huge lead is not the same as a huge lead in other sports. Is George
wow,
full of crap?
The final score of that game was 7-4.
Oh,
Edmonton Oilers get the win. No, Edmonton was up 2-0. Then it was I think they tied it.
And George doesn't know what he's talking about.
Actually, Edmonton was up 4-0, and then the Kings scored a couple of goals and cut into it, and then Edmonton scored 2 more. The Kings cut into it again, and then
there was no
one last. At no point did the Kings ever have a lead.
George, your story fell apart. They didn't blow a huge lead. That was just a game. It was just a game.
Still funny, the outcome. You give up 7 goals in the because Ralph was watching that to hide from his Lakers. So the fact that there was nowhere for him to actually hide is still funny, but this is just not funny in the way we thought.
It's a shame. It's a shame it wasn't them blowing a huge lead, because that would have been even better. But then the other part I do enjoy is Ralph sitting there thinking, this is nice. This is not. Oh, my gosh. Well, we got a game here. We lose. Haruto says, hello, Keon Rose and Jeffrey O'Brien. Your numbers are slowly decreasing. There were originally 4 on Friday with Ralph and Randy. And now Mr. White's not there yesterday, but Ralph Romano was. Now it's down to 2 people. I hope it's not a solo performance tomorrow. No, I think you'll have Keon and I no matter what. Randy fell off the roof, and then Ralph is going to actually join us in about a half an hour, maybe. If he can get away, he will. Of course.
Of course, after the results of his teams last night, he might have some excuses. That's all. I'm not accusing him of anything, but
he'll steer right into the refs. That's my prediction. Fifth letter says, hey, I got an idea. Let's just talk NFL draft. F basketball. Effing Lakers. We're gonna get there. Don't worry. We're not gonna talk too long about this. Pinocchio says George Burns explained in the movie Oh God, when asked why he made Adam and Eve naked, Jeffrey, he said, if I gave them pants, they'd want pockets. And then I give them pockets, they'd want something to put them in. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I've got pockets.
That's the thing. It's like the women don't have pockets, but they still have stuff that they need to put in pockets.
So now they got pockets in something that's called a purse. So,
which is less convenient than just having pockets.
Where's your God now? Screaming Eagle says, Randy fell off the roof. Hope he's okay. Don't worry, Doc. He's going to be fine. He hits the soft grass, but, he'll be all right. And I did not throw him off, technically, legally. I in no way threw him off the roof.
How do you technically not throw someone off the roof?
You should just be quiet.
Okay.
You just mind your own business. Fish Tank says, hey, Keon, who's Washington taking at number 2?
It's Jaden Daniels. I think it's Jaden Daniels.
You okay with that?
Yeah, I like Jaden Daniels.
Anybody you'd rather have?
I mean, I flip-flopped on it for ages, but now I'm settling in on Jaden Daniels.
All right. So what are the Bears doing?
Caleb Williams.
Ding.
Just
Yeah.
Don't even think about that one. Don't overthink it.
You crap yourself if they take Jaden Daniels.
Yes, because
literally,
because then you have to take Caleb Williams if you're Washington, and I mean, just pick up the phone and put in the pick. Don't even.
There's gonna be that moment of wait a minute, why? What? Well, because they're the Bears. Good enough for me. Click. Let's see. Silver Pops. Hey, Silver Pops says, "Good afternoon, guys, and happy Tuesday, and all that." And oh gosh. Sorry, guys. This stupid thing. Every time I click on somebody's text, it opens up one of George's. And then it comes around. Oh, here. I got it now. Well, Silver Pops just wrote me a giant text. He says, Jeffrey, I think the Suns don't get calls from the officials. I believe due to their constant complaining and crying, not just Booker, but Nurkic does it as well. Also, I noticed that both he and Booker are always falling down. It's annoying to watch. How in the world is a smaller defender knocking Nurkic down? Booker has been doing that more and more. I can only imagine the amount of energy wasted having to constantly get up and hustle. It's even harder to get back on defense, and I think that hurts their performance.
I don't know. With Booker falling down, he's shooting jumpers. Like if someone's playing tight defense on you, then a way of creating space is to just fade away a little bit, but you're never going to get a clean landing. So he falls down. Like that's just how he plays the game.
It just happens. People just sometimes fall off the roof. It doesn't mean somebody pushed them. Pierre says, Randy fell off the roof. Oh, I hope he had a good cigar in his mouth when it happened. That's the only way to go. He's not dead. He just fell off the roof. Let me know if Randy needs a kidney or a blood transfusion. I'll be on the next flight to Phoenix. Oh, that was Pierre. I was supposed to do that in a French accent. Sorry, Pierre. Donnie, no. We will not pour you a double. And no, you can't get a awoo. They're not awooing for you.
Which wasn't happening in the first place. Like if the Timberwolves were playing somebody else, you would have to still do that yourself. We're not doing that.
Hey, Will. There you go. Done. That's all you get. Fifth letter says, against the spread. Are you out there? Are you listening? How you like Booker's points plus assist line tonight? 30.5. I'm playing that over. Thoughts? Yeah. I think that's a good line. I think it's a good idea. I think because Booker's not going to have the same kind of night he had the other night,
and he's been good at bounce back games.
Yeah, you can't worry about him. Will we win or lose the game?
Yeah, that's a different question. But as far as Booker,
he'll get hot, somebody will get not hot, and then you're in the same boat. Maybe I don't know. I think they're going to win tonight.
I think so too, but I thought they were going to win game 1. So,
well, not if you watched past the first quarter. You didn't. They got their asses kicked. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
There ain't no polite way to put it. And you think I like saying that, knowing that dumb Donnie is listening right now?
Yeah. They just got wrecked on the glass.
That was it. But that's just a game. And we'll see what they come back with. Quiet Cannon says, waiting for the Lakers and Kings discussion to be over. Good thinking, Ralph. Oh, we can always bring it back. If there's anything this show is good at, bringing crap back.
Oh, especially things that are that petty. No, nothing that petty is ever dead.
Don't ever underestimate my pettiness. Ever. Let's see. So, okay, we don't want to talk about the Lakers and the Nuggets anymore, other than, hey, Nuggets, good job. Thanks. Anthony Davis, you're right. He is really salty about not being listed or winning Defensive Player of the Year. Is he right when he says the league doesn't like me? Why wouldn't the league like him? I think the league likes him fine.
It's weird that he would say that because it's not the league that's deciding these things. It's the writers.
The league don't like me. I'm the best defensive player in the league. I can switch 1 through 5. I can guard the pick and roll. Best in the league from a big standpoint. I block shots. I rebound. I don't know what else to do.
He's not wrong. The way he played this year, he's not wrong. He was absolutely the best defensive player in the league. I mean, it just he was able to defend the paint, and then a lot of the things that I give Victor Wembanyama credit for not being, taken advantage of by faster guards. Anthony Davis did the same thing, but better.
Do we still have the Burn in Hell Lakers in that computer, or is that just something Randy has?
It might just be something that Randy has, but I'll take a look.
Fifth letter, Laker fan.
Hold on.
Says, play the Burn in Hell Lakers song because we deserve it.
Wow. All right, let's see if this is the one right here.
Fifth letter being reasonable.
What
was that?
The first Burn in Hell Lakers.
Shut the hell up, Ralph.
There's one that
play that again. Does it do the thing or does it?
No, there's one that's 15 seconds long and one that's 7, and the 15-second one is.
Okay, we'll do the other one again. Do the one that worked again.
Burn in hell, Lakers. Burn in hell, Lakers. Shut the hell up, Ralph.
Oh, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Feels good. Fish Tank says, did AD stay healthy this year? For the most part, didn't he? Or I mean, there was a part of it he was out for a short time, right?
I mean, there were some games here and there, but for most stretches of games, he was healthy. He was absolutely healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for the first time in a long time, couldn't call him street clothes. He was out there playing.
Well, I'd love to know what the issue is with the writers on this, but I don't know. I like him fine.
He just kind of has been out of the conversation for the last couple of years because of injuries, and I don't know. I think some of these guys just don't stay up and watch West Coast games. There's some things there because it happens sometimes when the player that could be in the MVP conversation is a Western Conference guy playing in the Pacific time zone specifically. A lot of these writers are East Coast guys. They don't see them.
We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. A bunch more texts about various things, but don't worry, kids. We today will get to talking about the NFL because the day after tomorrow, we got the NFL draft. So, of course, we got to talk some NFL. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
AZ Preps 365, your source for all the news, info, highlights, and more. Athlete news and interviews. Talk with coaches. Keep you up to date with the changes, moves, upcoming events, and more. AZ Preps 365, Arizona's ultimate prep sports show. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot. AZ Preps 365, Saturday mornings 8 till 10 on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a walk-off grand slam or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
Do you need equipment for your business but don't have the cash? I can help. I'm Dylan Cohen at JR Capital, and we offer no money down financing on new and used equipment. Excavators, forklifts, dozers, tractors, cranes, plows, and more. If it's essential to your business, I will help you get the money you need. It's faster and easier than asking your banker. Call me, Dylan Cohen, at 602-834-7353. That's 602-834-7353. Or visit moneyradio.com and click on Finance with Dylan.
So, what's your favorite thing about sports? The excitement, the action, or the 5-meat pizza and the six-pack? Bingo. That's what we thought. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
The Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right, we're just going to talk a little more basketball before we get to the NFL. Getting ready for the draft. Still not completely 100% sure what we're going to do on draft night. Keon has volunteered to take it the rest of the way. I might get hungry or bored. I don't know. We'll sort it out. We'll let you know.
Can't really blame you. It takes a while.
One way or another, we'll have your draft coverage here on 1580 The Fanatic. Quiet Cannon says, man, poor Randy. Regularly falling off the roof. He does. This is not the first time. And he's like, yeah, regularly falling off the wagon too. No, also, he's never been on the wagon.
Yeah, got to be on the wagon to fall off the wagon.
So he's fallen off many roofs. He's never fallen off a wagon since he's never been on one. Screaming Eagle says, hey, guys, on Thursday, are you going to stay on the air the entire draft or just till 6? Individual results may vary.
We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. Here's the thing. You know that if it's interesting, Randy and I will probably linger. You know what I mean? We'll probably hang around a little bit. What's going on, guys? And then we started to, well, I guess the Colts have picked, the Cardinals picked. Okay, we'll see you later. You know, I don't know. We'll see. We have a new texter here on the text line, a new texter. And I think this might be another Canadian. I'm guessing. I don't know. What's a 701 area code? Can you look that up while I'll read this text? Hi, Blender crew. New texter here. I'm a big fan of your show, listening to it while I'm on vacation in Phoenix. Sorry to say, your Suns will lose tonight to the Timberwolves. And he says, go Wolves.
North Dakota is 701.
North Dakota? The only reason North Dakota exists is to protect Canada from South Dakota. You are one of 8 people from North Dakota. Name a city in North Dakota.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't.
Exactly.
I can't.
Exactly.
I used to know the state capitals when I was a kid, and I'm a long way away from that. No, I can't even.
There's 4 people in like a half of a gas station in the capital. That's it.
If you blink and you'll miss it, the whole city.
Are you from the Dakota? But by the way, I've been to South Dakota. I've been to North Dakota. Probably just call it one big Dakota.
Like, what's the difference?
There's no point. There's no point to a border. It's all the same nonsense. Just, you know.
At least South Carolina and North Carolina feel different. The Dakotas,
yeah,
it's the same place.
You got various degrees of racism in the North Carolina and South Carolina, but you got all the same boring in the North and the South Dakota. So, hey, Dakota guy, or are you from someplace else? Let us know. And if you have a cool nickname you want, now's the time to tell us. And by the way, you can take the show with you when you go home. You don't have to stop listening to this show. Unless you got something better to listen to there, but I'm really doubting. You know, you got our app and 1580thefanatic.com, that stuff. So I don't know. You have internet? Does the Dakota have internet?
Well, if you have phone service, I have to assume you have some version of internet.
He says, hey, I'm from Bismarck, North Dakota. Oh, Bismarck.
Oh, that's right. That's the capital. Yeah. There you go.
We just got a Costco and a Chick-fil-A. So we are big time city now.
Whoa.
Man. Wow, I apologize. I'm talking to
a city slicker right there. Yeah. Don't put all the industry in one place.
You can take the show with you when you go home if you like. You have our permission. 888-368-1580. Moist One says, I believe the capital of North Dakota is Skidmark. You are correct.
Yeah.
Random Texter says, I think for the NFL draft, you should have the Raven Kid in studio. I find his insight quite entertaining, and he disagrees all the time with Ralph, which makes it even better. You just want Raven Kid out of the house so you can spend time with the missus. We ain't a babysitting service, Random Texter. That ain't what we do. You want him on the show? I don't mind. Did he say anything last year? I can't remember if he talked.
He did talk last year, yeah.
Did he have good analysis?
That was solid.
Did he aggravate Ralph?
He did aggravate Ralph, which I think just seeing him aggravates Ralph. I mean, it's not hard to do if you're the Raven Kid. Ralph just doesn't like you.
We will figure that out, Random Texter. We will figure that out. Find out if he's available, and we will consider that. And okay, our new Dakotan. What do they call themselves?
Oh boy,
Cat. He says, I'm from Bismarck, and yes, we do have internet. We just got 3G last year. It's slightly faster than dial-up.
15 years behind the rest of the country. How is it's like a time machine? Do you still have payphones? I'm just curious.
Dude, send us a fax and let us know what your Texter nickname is going to be. I think that would work. He says, I like the Timberwolves, the Twins, Minnesota Wild, and Minnesota Vikings. What's a Texter nickname? It is how we identify you on the text line. All I see right now is your phone number ending in 2172. I'm not going to call you 2172. So this is the part where you say, hey, I've always wanted this super cool nickname. And if you can't think of one, we think of one for you. And they're usually fun. So, and I'll go talk. I'll show you how this works now.
And they're Dakotans.
And if you're sitting here saying, hi, Blender Crew, I'm a big fan of your show. You should know this crap already.
We only say it anytime someone new texts the show.
Yeah. What do you think? How do you think I know all the names of people? They don't type in their name every day. They don't type in the name every day. It's in our system. We put it in there. It's like a caller ID thing. So instead of reading the phone number, right?
Yeah.
Baker's Cocky Hen says you should bring back Raven Kid. Since coming from a Browns fan, he was good. Yeah. Yeah.
The coming from a Browns fan bit is that carries some weight. That carries some weight.
Everett, we don't want to use your real name. He says, my name is Everett. Of course it is. You're from North Dakota. Trying to help you here. So cool nickname. You've been hearing a lot of the ones that I've been saying. So that should help give you some ideas. 8718 says, I've been trialing this show and things were looking good to add you to my lineup. Things just took a turn for the worse when you started taking pot shots at my home state of South Dakota. No, we were talking about North Dakota. If we talked about South Dakota and North Dakota, everyone listening would fall asleep. And it's afternoon drive time here, so we don't want people crashing into each other. So
it's just a safety issue, I
didn't say anything bad about South Dakota. I just said you're just boring. Tell me something exciting about either Dakota, and I will apologize. Got to remember, I've been there. So it's not like I don't know what I'm saying.
So you can't lie about it now.
Yeah. Kiss the Cook says, call him Used Pager. How's that a cool nickname?
Well, because they just got 3G.
Oh, I see.
They just got a Chick-fil-A at Costco. Like they're just behind us. So they might have pagers. Who knows what's going on in the Dakotas? Who can even say?
Bear Claw says, do they still use an abacus in the Dakotas? I don't think they're concerned with math there.
Oh, no.
You can count the population on your hands. So
abacus not required.
Walter Mellon says, hey, take it easy on the guy from Dakota. He doesn't know how all this technology stuff works yet. Figuring that out.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth letter says his texter nickname should be Love Me Some Soda.
Oh, boy.
Shooter McGavin says, since we think we know what happened to Bad Grandpa, is Bad Grandpa available again? I don't think this guy's old enough to be Bad Grandpa. And I still hold out hope every day that Bad Grandpa will make a miraculous return. But I think we all know what happened to Bad Grandpa.
Bad Grandpa went backpacking around the world, and that's the reason why he's not using
he went to a farm, and he's just happy hanging out with all the other old people.
Yeah.
It's just one of those farms. Like when they send your dog to a farm.
Yeah. Bad Grandpa hanging out with the other bad grandparents.
Gandalf says, Sturgis. Is that in Dakota? Which one is it? It's where all the the motorcycle people go. There's like a big event.
Oh yeah, that is South Dakota.
Donnie says, I went to the University of North Dakota. That's exciting. Donnie, did you graduate from there? Did you graduate? I don't know. Baker's Cocky Hen says the Dakota is being mentioned on Blender. Is probably going to make the local news in both Dakotas. Yeah, we're going to get quoted. Raven Kid says, so I told you guys you need somebody to annoy Ralph on Thursday for the duration of the draft. Is that true? Maybe. That's up to Keon. I'm letting Keon run the draft show.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to be there. I'm going to be there for just as much as I feel like. I think I'm contractually obligated to the 5 o'clock hour. After that,
who can say?
If I get distracted, I'm out. I might leave my camera on.
It's just an empty square.
Yeah, just occasionally come back and just kind of look in and see what's happening.
Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals pick yet?
I don't care what the Cardinals do. Yeah. I'm a Colts fan.
But yeah, but your buddy Randy, man.
Yeah, he'll be all right. Kringleberry says, call the new texter. Ralph has crotch lice. No, I don't think we're gonna get away with that one, Kringleberry.
Yeah, it's just too strong a theme of assigning Ralph various venereal diseases. Just too strong.
Slow-Mo Zoe also texted in Sturgis. Oh, are you saying we should call him Sturgis? Because that's Gandalf and Slow-Mo Zoe saying that.
Okay, maybe. It's not a bad nickname. It's just
Sturgis.
It's not the correct Dakota form, right?
Sturgis.
Because he's a North Dakotan.
Cyril Figgis. Moist one says, can he be North Dakota State by son? With a dash in between by and son. No, Moist one. It's just probably not something he was going to ask for.
Just a hunch.
Oh, here he is again. Let's see here. He says, hey, I want to let you know. City of Deadwood, South Dakota rocks. There's a great history of booze, gold mining, gambling, and brothels. There's your interesting nugget. Okay.
It's just.
Is that like from the Deadwood TV show they used to have? I never watched it, but is that the same place?
Maybe. Well, if there's gold, then would be, because that's what that show is about.
That's manly. That sounds like a manly place. I would like to visit. So whoever the hell you are, 8718, I hope that helps. I'm impressed, and I give a man card accreditation to the city of Deadwood, South Dakota. But that's not where this dude is from. The other dude's from North Dakota, right? Isn't that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh, here he is. He says, how about Everett the Fighting Hawk? Well, that's not how it works. We would just call you Fighting Hawk.
What about Mount Everett?
Anybody? Moist one likes that one.
Oh, no.
I like to Mount Everett.
Never mind, Everett. I tried.
I'm going to Mount Everett right now.
That's the best I had, and I did not Moist one proof it. I'm sorry.
So he says that he went to the University of North Dakota and studied aerospace science. Wow. What?
Huh.
So you would think you'd be smart enough to go somewhere better for vacation. He's here on vacation.
It's just, you can come here on vacation.
It's 100 damn degrees today.
Try December next time.
All right. Well, if you're going to be Everett the Fighting Hawk, you're just going to be the Fighting Hawk. All right.
Because that's more nickname. Like your actual name doesn't have to be in your nickname.
No Dak Eunuch? I don't understand. I don't get that one, Moist one. Oh, Eunuch.
No.
Yeah.
No. We got there eventually.
Random texter wants to know a good question. Why did they divide the Dakota? What caused them to have a need for a north and a south version?
That's what we're wondering.
We'd all been fine with just Dakota. That's what I'm saying too. So now that we've embraced the people of Canada, but somehow we're really aggravating the people of the Dakotas. I'm okay with that. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I've finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every basket, every game, every point, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a three-pointer at the buzzer to tie the game, or a player goes 2 for 2 at the foul line. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
80% of youth in Arizona don't drink, smoke, or use drugs. Want to know the reason why? It's you. Kids say not disappointing their parents is one of the main reasons they choose not to drink or use drugs. Visit talknowaz.com because while you might worry you aren't getting through, you are. Keep it up and stay up to date about the latest Arizona drug trends at talknowaz.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Steve Jurich here. After working in financial services for over 20 years, I finally confirmed what investors really want, including me. And it's simple. All they're asking for is 20% annual return with no risk and 100% liquidity. Here's the problem. A money market is safe and liquid, but offers almost zero yield. Mutual funds and ETFs are liquid with upside potential, but aren't safe. A carefully selected next-generation index annuity through IQ Wealth may offer 10% ample liquidity, principal protection, and a lifetime income yield potentially double to triple that of quality bonds. By yielding more income using fewer dollars, our system allocates more money for you for capital growth. It's a winning combination.
Call leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now. 480-902-3333. Guarantees rely on the claims paying ability of the insurer, so compare with Steve. 480-902-3333. Call Steve now.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM. And K240U Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time for showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. He fell off the roof, working on the weather equipment. That's all you people need to know. There's no other story to it, so quit asking. We got Keon in the control room there. Oh, look, Ralph from Harmon Solar actually showed up. Surprised that I see you eating, drinking from your smoothie of sadness there after the Lakers blew a 20-point lead last night after the Kings lost their game. That was a good game though with the Kings, wasn't it?
It's alcohol to deal with it.
Is that it? You're just drinking your sorrows?
Yeah, it's strawberry water. So.
All right. Remember, there are certain words you can't say on the radio, Ralph. So don't. No. Bad dog. Fiber. Fruit and I forget. Anyway, you have to be this old to ride that ride. So There used to be a cereal called Fruit and Fiber. That's what it was. Because back in the 80s, we couldn't poop. It was just a real problem for all of us. Like nobody could poop for the longest time.
That is a real problem. Deeply uncomfortable.
Hey, Ralph, you ever been to North or South Dakota?
No.
So suddenly we have a new listener from there. And then it turned out that I've aggravated one of our other listeners from there. And,
Can't imagine that.
So now that's half the population of the Dakotas right there. So I'm just.
Wow.
Don't disrespect them. There are dozens of them.
Well,
yeah. Okay. That's fair.
How did you aggravate?
You know me.
Well, I mean, yeah, in general.
Basically just said the Dakotas were one of the most boring places in the country.
But instead of having two separate boring Dakotas, we could just have one big boring Dakota.
Yeah.
That's
another thing. Why are there two Dakotas? There's no need.
Beautiful. They're beautiful though.
Okay.
There's nothing to do there, but they're beautiful.
That's what
we're saying. No one said it was ugly.
Okay. Well, you could do that in Tucson.
Yeah, but you have that.
And they do.
But it's nicer there.
Nice.
You can go out for a break. Make sure you don't poison yourself to death while you're making a batch of meth and look at a beautiful mountain. I can't do that in Tucson because there are no beautiful mountains. I mean, there are mountains, but they're not.
There's nothing beautiful in Tucson.
Yeah, it's just.
So this guy decided to call himself the Fighting Hawk. He wanted to be Everett the Fighting Hawk, but I'm like, dude, we don't use our names here.
Fighting Hawk.
I guess I'm thinking that must be a mascot of the University of North Dakota.
No, that'd be like the bison, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then I don't know where he's. I don't know where he's getting this.
I don't know where the Fighting Hawk thing came from.
You know what? Listen, that's his nickname. He wants it. He's the Fighting Hawk. I'm going to give him the Fighting Hawk. Yeah. He says, so the Dakota Territory split into North and South Dakota because of regional differences in trade routes and population size. Those differences, along with it.
Wow.
Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. Sorry. What happened? What is today? Oh, sorry. I was reading something.
Well, you don't read it again because you fell asleep.
The debate really started when the capital of Dakota Territory was moved from Yankton to Bismarck. South Dakotans say it got stolen. The North Dakotans would say it got moved because that's where the growth was. Yankton was very isolated. Bismarck was not. God, I've never been more sorry that someone answered a question that I asked.
It wasn't even a cool answer. It's just.
What was your question?
Why are there two Dakotas instead of one? And we got an answer, but
I'm sorry.
I regret learning that. It wasn't.
That's on me.
A better answer would have just been. I'm not saying that they should have lied. I'm just saying a better answer would have just been, look, we wanted an even 50 states. Okay, I could buy that. That's easy, simple. What is this? It's just I understand it. I'm so deeply uninterested by it.
So Fighting Hawk, Slow-Mo Zoe took care of it. He said North Dakota and South Dakota are separated because of political differences in the 1880s. Fair enough. That's all I need.
Yeah, that's a snappier answer than.
Moist One says Yankton is where the growth was. I know. It did occur to me just as much.
Which Dakota is the racist one?
Both.
No, they're not.
No,
that I know.
Why would there be one that is and one isn't? It's
in
the northern
political differences. I'm just curious.
Well, Ralph, I know you're thinking, but not every political difference is a racist one.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hefty Lefty says one Dakota is very flat, and the other one is bumpy.
I've dated girls like that.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
One was very flat. One was very bumpy.
Sometimes it's like that, but it's just how it works.
Depends on how bumpy. I guess the cook says Tucson area, Mount Lemmon and Summer Haven. It's very beautiful. Are you high? Raven Kid says, oh, by the way, yeah, Raven Kid says, I got one thing to say to Ralph.
What?
Jamal Murray.
What does that mean?
You know what it means.
I have no idea.
You know what it means. Don't lie. Don't be a liar.
What you're talking about.
Buzzer beater beat the Lakers last night.
Didn't watch it.
Your team was 20 points down and still lost. I mean, 20 points up and still lost.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Lakers
I was watching the Kings.
0-2 right now.
Watching the Kings give up 7 goals.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
Every time they got close, it was like
you were hiding from the Lakers game, watching another heartbreak.
You know what the hard part was? I wasn't hiding because you have YouTube TV, right?
Yeah.
So mine was kind of like,
oh, you did the multi-screen.
It was sticking unless I went to the multi-screen. And the multi-screen had the Lakers on the left and the Kings on the right. And it's the only way I could watch it.
Oh, no.
So I was trying to watch it with one eye.
Yeah.
But that didn't work.
Get a piece of paper, tape it to the screen.
But then I saw the Lakers were pretty much out, blowing them out. I'm like, okay, that's good. And then
yeah, we all went to sleep thinking, oh, I guess Ralph's not getting swept.
When I opened that eye back up, it got punched. I mean, so I got a lot to say if you want to talk about it.
Well, I'll let you have your say, but unless
it won't be what you think,
unless it's about the referees.
Nope.
Okay, so go ahead, lay it on us. Why are the Lakers getting swept?
Has nothing to do with the referees.
Are the Lakers
shouldn't
getting
have been
swept?
in that position for them to make that, make that impact? Anyway,
Lakers getting swept?
No, I don't think they will. I don't
think so either.
The Lakers, completely, in my opinion, for 3.5 quarters, they completely dominated that game. The minute Anthony Davis went out with foul trouble, it changed that whole entire game. I mean, Anthony Davis, man, what a game he played. That was ridiculous. He dominated Jokic. I mean, he had Jokic, couldn't do anything against him, which I thought was really cool to see finally. But they just got cold, and when they got cold, they lost. I mean, it's not about the referees. Screw the referees. And I'm really embarrassed by the way these guys acted after the game. I thought it was ridiculous. You lost.
Mm-hmm.
You got cold in the fourth quarter. Shut the hell up, and do better. So,
well, my take on the final score is, well, you were up by 20, and you lost by 1. But it also showed that you're going to win at least one of these games.
I think so. I mean, I think they've I want to say they figured it out, but
did we just lost Ralph?
We did lose Ralph. Yep.
Yeah. Here he's back. Ralph, we lost you there for a second.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Turns out it's not YouTube TV. It might be your horrible internet.
I have great internet.
Not the day you don't.
I do.
You disappeared for about 15 seconds.
I've usually gone for longer than that. Am I good now?
Ralph has never gone for more than 15 seconds.
All I'm saying is I thought they finally figured out how to play Denver. They did a really good job doing it. D'Lo with his threes. Anthony Davis dominated Jokic. And I think they're going to win a game. They might even win 2 in this series. They're not going to win the series, but I think they can win a game or 2. They won't get swept.
Baker's Cocky Hen says we should call the new guy Deadwood or Impotent Dakotan. By the way, we have another Dakotan, 8718, a guy who's been listening for a while. He says, I've been trialing your show. And he says, well, you should be Deadwood. You're the one who brought up Deadwood. That's a great texter nickname. Deadwood says, and it's a tribute to your home state there, 8718. Do you live here now, 8718, or are you listening from there? We're an international wonder, Ralph. We wonder why anyone would listen internationally.
I want to know how you're getting a listener from the Dakotas.
I want to know how we're getting a listener. Silver Pop says, hey guys, how about 3G DAC in commemoration of being from North Dakota and the milestone of getting the 3G? Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
Milestone.
I feel like Deadwood's pretty good.
Yeah.
Quiet Cannon says the Dakota Dazzler has a good sound. Does it?
It just seems ironic. It just the second part doesn't really describe the first part. What's a Dakota Dazzler?
Fifth letter says, wait, Randy fell off the roof again? I'm starting to think he likes to land ass first on the sprinkler heads. Don't even know.
No one said that.
Yeah.
That's just fan fiction you're writing.
Did you push him?
I don't know. Keep it to yourself.
For the record, in no way did I push Randy off the roof.
Did you pay someone to push him?
He keeps saying that.
I also have a recording of Keon saying that. So legally, I am untouchable.
He had me say that, but I don't know why he's having me say that.
Just stop.
I feel like you either pushed him or paid someone to do it.
I didn't pay anybody. Beer Bob says, so North and South Dakota, you guys question, but you don't wonder what the hell happened to East Virginia.
East Virginia?
They had to separate themselves and be more racist than West Virginia, right?
There's no such thing as
Which one's the most racist, the East or the West Virginia? I think
it's just regular Virginia and West Virginia, at which point West Virginia is the more racist.
Well,
West Virginia.
Are they?
Yeah. I thought regular Virginia was.
It
He's
depends.
from the South.
The thing is, regular Virginia is enormous. So it's like there's parts of it that aren't. Like the parts closer to where I lived growing up, not really. But then you get further south.
I mean, West Virginia is. I stayed there for a few days. It's scary. Well,
That's true.
It's scary because nobody has any teeth,
Mm-hmm.
and they're nice people. They're just a little depressing. But I lived in Virginia for like 3 years outside of DC, and
Dude, they're a lot depressing.
yeah, they're very depressing.
It's not a little, it's a lot.
Try sitting in a Denny's at 1 a.m. in Charleston, West Virginia. That's a little scary. But I lived in Virginia. It's when you get south in Virginia, it's a little racial.
That whole area just strikes me as a lot of people who could floss with a knotted up jump rope.
That'd be West Virginia.
Wilbur says, like they say, Randy, it's better to fall off the roof than fall on the roof, as opposed to it's better to be. Okay, I'm not reading any more of this, Wilbur, because it's not making sense. It's not making sense. Bear Claw says, I went to Bisbee once. Okay. How does it compare to the Dakotas? Probably trees. I don't know.
Kind of odd.
No idea, Bear Claw. It's a good question. And somebody would have to have visited both places to compare. And I don't know if these Dakotans have been to the Bisbee. Kiss the Cook says, is it true that when you graduate college in the Dakotas, you get to color your own diploma? Color it in.
Wow.
Hefty Lefty says, one sports franchise called the Jets has scored 7 points in a playoff game twice since 2013. It's not the one that plays football, by the way.
Are you all right?
I
now know a thing about the Winnipeg Jets.
Are they the ones that beat the Kings last night?
No,
that was Edmonton.
Yeah.
So
does anybody know what
we were not talking about the Winnipeg Jets at all.
Why is Hefty talking? I don't understand what he's talking.
I got nothing.
Lost Toby has a message for Ralph.
Okay.
Lakers. Losing Ralph was my favorite segment.
What? Oh my god! Well, it's this segment
when your internet failed.
It was this segment for about 10 seconds.
Fighting Hawk thinks that Ralph was broadcasting from Bismarck, North Dakota. He says those dropouts happen all the time in Bismarck because 3G. Baker's Cocky Hen says Scott Foster hates anyone. I think Scott Foster hates a lot of people, to be honest.
Was he reffing last night?
Yeah, for your Lakers.
Yeah, he was bad.
Hates anyone who's ever played in New Orleans and left, and punishes them forever. CP3 and AD.
So, I mean, how do you explain James Harden?
There was a lot of issues in that game last night.
What other issues?
Well, there was a lot of ref issues in that game. But you know what? I don't use that as an excuse of losing. I just told them, but there were some issues. There's no doubt. But I'm not going to ever use that as an excuse. I just won't.
No. Ralph never uses excuses.
The only time I ever used a ref as an excuse was in Super Bowl 40. Other than that, no.
And that one's fair. that one's fair.
Because you lose that game last night because you got cold in the fourth quarter. No other reason. If you don't get cold, you win that game.
Yeah.
So you put yourself in that position. So that's not the ref's fault, but the ref definitely impacted the game. There's no doubt about it.
And I do think that in the third quarter, when they didn't get that foul call on D'Angelo Russell, I thought it got in their heads. Like they just let it affect
the one where he got hit in the face.
Yeah,
that was just BS.
It was a bad call. I agree, but I think they just let it affect them longer than it should have.
I still think the turning point was when AD got his fourth. That's when the game changed.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as he came out, Jokic went off.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how much of guarding Jokic is going to just cause that. Like you're playing well against him, but you're still he's a lot to handle, man.
And I'm with you. I agree with you, Jeffrey. The reaction after the game was horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
And as Laker fans, we don't like that. We never saw Magic do that. We never saw Kobe really do that. We don't want to see that garbage.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. I agree with you, which is not very often.
What do you think of the 76ers? Do you think they have a point in their grievances where they're filing paperwork about it? Saying it's not just now, it's also in the regular season. We got the receipts, man. We are angry about this officiating.
I think the problem with that is now you're so focused on that, you're getting away from what you should be doing is getting ready for the next game. Let it go. Just focus on playing the next game. Worry about that stuff after the season.
Let's see. Silver Pop says North Dakota and South Dakota, if they combine it into one state, they should call it both Dakotas. I actually would sign a petition for that. I like that.
You just call it Dakota.
No, I know, but I like both Dakotas. Welcome to both Dakotas.
You could call it just Dakota, but both Dakotas just sounds just fun.
Pinocchio says West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Sierra Madre, I think is that the Spanish would call that. Moist one says, their texture nicknames should be top and bottom.
Top and bottom.
Thank you, Moist one. CK says, hey, beer me, Keon. Oh, do you have a beer for him? There you go. And then he goes on to insult us. You guys are delusional. Lakers are getting swept. Big Two played great, and D'Lo broke the Lakers playoff record for 3-pointers made, and they still lost. D'Lo's not having another game like that this series.
I think he will.
I don't think the Lakers are getting swept.
No, I don't either.
They'll win a game in LA, and then it's going to get sad. After that,
you're deleting that meme.
You're
going to delete that meme.
Oh my God, I don't want to delete that.
You have to.
The moment
I'll find another one.
They win in this series.
I'll find another one.
I'll just type in the search Laker memes.
I got my son. I got my son's one.
Gentleman's sweep.
You got your son one?
Yeah, I got my son's broom meme ready to go.
Sons aren't getting swept.
We'll see. If they lose tonight, they are.
How do you know that?
You realize they come back.
They come back home also. So they're not getting swept.
They're going to be crying the whole way home. Boo-hoo, because if they lose tonight, they are. They're the most emotional team in the NBA.
I don't know that that's true either.
No, that is true. They're the most emotional. There's more crybabies in that team per capita in the NBA.
Your team has LeBron on it. I don't know.
We got floppers. They got crybabies.
And also, have you watched the Dallas Mavericks play basketball?
I'll give you Booker as a
That's an emotional team. Luka, every possession. You think Devin cries for every call? Oh my God! Have you seen Luka Doncic?
Yeah, he's bad.
Luka's the worst complainer in the league, in my opinion. It's not even close.
It's close to him and Booker.
I don't think so.
He's pretty bad.
Even when Luka's rolling, he's complaining.
Quiet Cannon says the Dakota Dazzler is an effort to put some sizzle into the whole concept. The way visiting North Dakota and South Dakota both seem like too much excitement for one lifetime. I appreciate that. Let's see. That was actually just another face in the crowd that said that. Quiet Cannon says, what do you guys think the Minnesota Wild need to do to improve their team for next season after missing the playoffs this year?
Move out of Minnesota.
So the text line is now giving the wrong texter nicknames to the wrong people. That wasn't Quiet Cannon. That was actually Fighting Hawk. I got to restart the whole thing. Do you have your text line on there, Ralph?
You want me to pop it up?
No, I want you to make sure you turn it off.
Oh, I don't have it on at all.
Usually when it starts acting like this, somebody's logged in that shouldn't be.
I keep it on for an hour during our show and then I turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
I can get on there, though, if you'd like.
No, I
start changing names and move people around.
Freaking out. I've noticed there are less texters than there used to be.
I can make Big George Little George.
I think you've been blocking people.
I thought about blocking Big George a few times when I turned it on.
Well, we'll sort this out. Going to take a break. We come back. We're going to go ahead and talk about what happens with the Phoenix Suns tonight, except for you, Ralph. And then we will talk NFL draft stuff. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
It's election time. Make your vote count. Register to vote or check your voter registration by going to arizona.vote. Remember, elections are run at the local level by your friends and neighbors, and there are safeguards in place every step of the way to ensure your vote is counted accurately and securely. For more information and updates, visit arizona.vote, your trusted source of election information. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Secretary of State's office.
One of the most common questions people ask is if they can still afford to retire on $1 million or $2 million anymore. With stocks near all-time highs and bonds at all-time lows, it's actually a great question. 2008 taught millions of retiring engineers, teachers, and other professionals a costly lesson that years of market gains can be wiped out in just weeks of market losses. Not a problem if you're 30 years old with a few decades to make it back, but not if you are in retirement or almost there. I like to follow the 30, 50, 70 rule. The closer you are to 50 or 70, then at least 30 to 50% of your money should be kept safe at all times, like in an uncapped, principal secure, next generation annuity. Come and see why.
Call leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now at 480-902-3333. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with Steve. Call 480-902-3333 and visit IQannuity.com.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, host of You Better You Bet, reminding you to check out the show. Now, why should you check out You Better You Bet? Because we bring you the most fun. We bring you the most insightful, the most entertaining show in the wagertainment world. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come alongside them. Plus, you'll get the best betting analysis anywhere from myself, Ken Barkley, and some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. So tune in weekdays, noon to 3 on Arizona Sports Betting Station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
The Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So we're getting ready to not air the Phoenix Suns game because we're not that station, but we will keep you up to date occasionally on what the scores and stuff are. But at 4:30, the Suns are going to try to get one back from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ralph thinks it's impossible, but the rest of the reasonable, Northern Hemisphere doesn't think that.
I didn't say it was impossible.
You said no way it would ever happen. You'd bet your house on
it. I never said that.
So, what's the story on Grayson Allen? I know he's a game time decision. What's the word? Is he playing or not?
Looks like he should be playing. He was practicing earlier, which is a really good sign.
Okay.
But like you said, game time decision. It's going to be that's when we'll find out.
Well, he needs to get back to his job as editor of the Daily Planet. So, jeez. I don't know what's up with that young guy with all that gray hair on his temples. But all right. So after the last game, you remember Devin Booker just had a bad night. He had a bad game. And what else needs to improve? Devin Booker has got to, and he probably will, come back to being Devin Booker. So what else needs to happen for the Suns to beat the Timberwolves?
Well, I think it does kind of start with Devin Booker. Of the big three, he had the worst shooting percentage of everybody. 60% for Beal, 67% for Durant, 30% for Devin Booker. That's just not acceptable. And I don't know that that's necessarily just a Devin Booker thing. Frank Vogel was talking about coming up with some things to get Devin Booker open because, they do have some really good perimeter defenders in Minnesota. And so like you've got some ways to free him up a little bit where it's not just an isolation. He's going one-on-one against the defender. And then, the playoffs is more physical. They've been calling less calls in the league overall. So there's going to be an adjustment there, but it's just help Devin out a little bit. Don't just, give him the ball and then stand there and watch while he's trying to break a defender down. There are ways that you can move him around when he doesn't have the ball to try and get him some open looks. And I do think that Grayson Allen being in the game is going to be huge because I just think that he stretches the floor.
Yeah, and he was flat before he got hurt too.
And he's got to play well. And I do think that if it looks like he's not playing well, I don't think that they should force it. If the ankle's clearly bothering him, clearly an issue, Royce O'Neal did well enough that you can roll with that until Grayson Allen sort of figures out where he's at.
Except for the part where we lost by 25 points.
Yeah, but that's not the Royce O'Neal factor of this. Royce O'Neal did play well enough. What caused them to lose by 25 points is they weren't getting rebounds, which I think is the biggest issue because when you look at how many more possessions Minnesota had, how many more shots Minnesota took, that is the result of them killing you on the glass. And they've got three guys around 7 feet tall that they had out there on the floor. So are the Suns going to try and get bigger as well? Do you put Bol out there and see what happens? Or are you going to try and go smaller and say, if you're going to be big, we're going to outrun you?
Bol was kind of a spaz when they put him in the other day. Did you see that? He's just like, he's all just asses and elbows. Just like, I'm pretty sure I saw him do a cartwheel at some point. Wow. Fish Tank says, I saw something that showed that Nurkic has one of the biggest plus minus discrepancies in the NBA. When he's off the court, we can't keep up with their bigs.
And that's a problem, but he was also not really rebounding. And that's not laziness or anything like that. Like, they were just, whenever he was around the basket, somebody got a body on Yusuf Nurkic. He can't be the only person going to the basket to crash boards, because this team is big enough. They can take him out of that game.
Quiet Cannon says, okay, guys, what do you think of this analysis? Suns get a good lead on the T-Wolves. They could win today. It's hard to come from behind on the team, Wolf, because of that good defense they have.
I mean, I can see that. I basically saying if the Suns have a big lead, it's easier to play from the front against this team than, especially the way the Suns play, because they are a jump shooting team and the Timberwolves are better at perimeter defense. I mean, you'd think kind of the other way around because they have Gobert in the middle, but like Anthony Edwards is a solid defender, man. Like, the guy plays with a lot of energy. He hustles. That's not an easy person to get around.
Quiet Cannon, that sounds like the blueprint for beating them in the regular season. I don't think that that's going to necessarily be, something that the Wolves haven't figured out by now.
But it's still, if you start off quicker than they anticipate, hit them in the mouth, that does affect them, because they're going to have to change the way that their defense is played.
What's that, Ralph? Nobody asked you.
It doesn't work when you do that.
Really? Let me punch you in the mouth. See,
ask the Lakers.
It as the Lakers, the Lakers are the team that collapsed. Other teams have managed to win. Why don't we just ask the Timberwolves from last game how that works?
Look,
it works for more teams than not. The Lakers are the outlier here.
You nailed it on this game, though. It's all about rebounding, and they just got destroyed on the boards. That's all this game was. They were terrible on the boards.
And I don't know that the rebounding for the Suns is necessarily going to improve. They're going to have to hustle somebody in there, because most of the time I saw rebounding happening, the Suns just weren't even trying. They weren't even trying to get the rebound.
It's a lot of it is they've relied on Nurkic to be the guy that grabs those rebounds. But what happens when a team
it's 11 a game? I think there's going to be more than 11.
There's going to be more than 11, but like, especially when it comes to getting them those second chance opportunities, when the Timberwolves dedicate a couple of people to keeping him off the glass, and that number is not 11, but 4, that changes things. That's 6 potential possessions that you've given up.
Just another face in the crowd says, hey, if the Dakotas are so nice, how come nobody hardly lives there?
Because it's cold.
It's a good point. I like it cold. I could live there. I could probably live there and be happy.
And they just got a Chick-fil-A in the capital.
Well, there's a reason to go.
They just got, that's a reason to go. But prior to this, why was anybody living there?
I'll move there for the Chick-fil-A. I love me some racially and religiously intolerant food.
There's a Chick-fil-A
wherever I can get
down the street from here. I don't have to go all the way to
I know.
Bismarck.
I'll eat it anywhere. I don't even care.
Like if I happen to be in North Dakota, okay, fine. Yeah, no, congratulations.
God help me, I can't stop eating it. Kiss the Cook says they separated the Dakotas and Virginias, so you know which relative you're sleeping with.
Wow.
He says, by the way, when I first typed that, I had to correct it to Virginia because it would automatically come out as vagina. Well, your phone knows you, Kiss the Cook. Big George says, Ralph, why so much hate?
Hate?
Yeah. Why so much hate?
Toward who?
Well, directed and now I can't at Ralph. I'm sorry, at George. Why are you directing so much hate at
Big
I called
George? Him Little George?
Because I've been peaceful and conciliatory for a while now. I know the Lakers and the Kings and the Dodgers are losing. The playoffs makes you angry, but don't take it out on me.
I just called you Little George. I was repeating what your wife was tweeting. That's all.
Oh my God. You did say that you thought about blocking him a couple times, though.
Well, did you see after the game yesterday? What does he do? He puts a tweet out about me right away.
I'm pretty sure Big George just
Which
has
was
that.
pretty darn funny.
Yeah, Big George, you did start it.
Big George has it saved in drafts.
But it was funny.
I would be careful if I were you, because I feel like he could concuss you with Little George, if you know what I mean. He's 7 feet tall.
It's
and proportional.
You know what?
Raven Kid says Nurkic, being the 3 highest rebounder on the team with 4 boards while being 7 foot. Yeah, that's an issue. He had as many fouls as boards, by the way.
Yeah, like that's just like you can't have your big guy be out rebounded that aggressively because it does set the tone for the rest of the team. He's closer to the basket. If he can't get those rebounds,
You know what else?
No one is.
At that height, he's closer to God.
Well,
who's banging over there, by the way? What the hell's going on?
You're like Big George at my front door.
Yeah, he's like, open up. Or your wife is chopping down a tree or something. Wilbur says, here's my in-depth analysis. If the Suns score more points than Timberwolves, we will win.
Wow, that's deep.
None of us thought that.
Thanks, Magic.
Kiss the Cook says, I'm not saying the Suns can't win tonight, but they haven't won a game 2 since 1994. That can't be true. That they haven't won a game 2 since 1994. You just made that up. There's no way that the Suns have not won a game 2 in a playoff series since 1994.
That's possible.
You're just meanly making Keon have to look that up. You just made that up. It's a made you look kind of thing right there. And he's actually looking.
I'm curious. I don't want to just say no, and then it turns out wrong.
It's easier just to say no.
I don't know off the top of my head. There. So.
By the way, you remember the Dirtbag Timberwolves owner? He was like, hey, I'm going to sell the team because they suck. I'm selling it. And then all of a sudden, Timberwolves are in the playoffs. He's like, oh, not so fast. Maybe I won't sell the team, to A-Rod and some other dude. And so now there's a mediation set up. You're not going to get the team away from him. You're not going to sue the team away from the Dirtbag owner, but you might get a little money for your trouble, right? I mean, the mediator is going to basically at the end of this say no. And then A-Rod and Lore can sue, and then they're going to get some sort of settlement. That's my prediction. Or do you think that the owner of the Timberwolves gets away completely unscathed here? Ralph is distracted by something banging in the house, and it's definitely not him. So,
wow. No, it's my wife. I think the neighbors are over.
So she's just, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Either. It's just a whole can of worms that I'm going to leave that sealed.
Can of worms is a good expression, yeah.
So what happens here with this thing? Are they going to get a settlement? Is it going to be nothing? I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't care. I don't care. It's the Timberwolves. So I hope you lose your stupid team.
Wow. Okay. Well,
it's tough.
Silver Pop says, I do believe the Suns were up 2-0 over the Bucks in the finals a couple of seasons ago.
That's true.
And then they sweep the Lakers.
You're damn right they did.
Right? That happened once, didn't it?
You're damn right they did. You're right. I completely forgot.
So yeah, so that was after 94. So
now he says last game 3 win was against Houston. What do you Kiss the Cook? How drunk are you right now?
Very.
Raven Kid says, hey, Ralph, you might want to check if the pool boy's there.
No, that's okay. It's less I have to worry about.
I would punch him in the face.
maybe that draft show's not happening.
Oh yeah,
7 hours.
Yeah, here's the thing. Raven Kid's dad, I think he's trying to get the house alone for him and the missus. And so you want to know if we needed Raven Kid for the draft show this year.
Didn't we have him last year?
Yeah. I don't remember anything he said, but
I kind of remember him sitting next to me with that stupid jersey on and that dumb look on his face. Other than that.
Yeah, like I said, it doesn't take much for the Raven Kid to piss off Ralph because Ralph sees the Raven Kid, and that's basically it. That's all it takes.
So
no, I like him.
So here's the thing: we're gonna let Keon do the draft show, and then I'll hang around as long as I'm contractually obligated. And I might linger past 6. I might not. But if you wanted to hang out and get nerdy with Keon and do the draft show, you're welcome to.
So this is a party at the studio.
Oh, I'm not coming in.
No, Jeffrey's not. Jeffrey's literally going to wander away from his camera.
Yeah.
The moment that his stomach grumbles.
Mm-hmm.
No, we should have a party at the studio. This is a perfect opportunity to bring in food, have a big old draft party.
Mm-hmm.
You've got nothing better to do.
Oh,
your wife would appreciate you being out of the house.
Well, that's probably true.
Randy got hurt. Randy threw himself off the roof so he wouldn't have to be on the part at the draft thing.
Damnedest thing I ever saw standing on the roof next to him. In case there's photos. We'll sort it out. But the big question is, do you want
Well, I'm in for whatever you guys want to do.
No, I'm at, do you want Raven Kid to do?
I mean, that's
he's like, I'm down for whatever. Well, how about the Raven Kid? Then you have to really think about
That's like asking me if I want, back surgery. Not really.
I thought you were going to say Ebola. But all right. So we'll figure this out, I guess. And this is what I worried about. Hefty Lefty says, I'll bring some bourbon. This is not open to the public. This ain't open to the public.
Depends what they're going to bring.
But then I'm definitely not coming in. He says, wait, no, I'll need it for the Broncos season.
Yeah, you're going to need a few of those.
And the last 8.
You might need it for the Broncos draft. I have no idea what they're going to do.
Quiet Cannon says, I can't believe that wild card Randy White has not texted in yet just to stay in touch with the insanity. Randy doesn't. I don't text in when I'm not on the show.
I don't think any of us does.
You don't even listen.
That's the whole point of going on vacation. Or if you're, recovering from a certain injury, just do that.
Throwing yourself off a roof. Yeah.
Do you drive by work when you're on vacation?
Every day.
Just look at it longingly.
CK says, Ralph, Tightwad Jeffrey would then have to buy gas to drive to the studio.
Good point.
A tightwad. I wasn't going to tip a guy 20% because he was bad. And then I was like, nah, I'm just going to went ahead and gave him 20%, even though he didn't deserve it.
So we should have got a place where we could have went and did what do you call it? An on-site thing and did the draft party thing. That would have been fun.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been fun.
We agree.
Mm-hmm.
Listeners there, us there. All right.
If only somebody was responsible for making that happen.
Yeah.
We had a marketing department. It could happen, I guess.
Rainy City Bitch Pigeons is fast forward 2 days with Ralph holding a pizza, standing outside the studio saying, guys, it's time for the draft party. And we're inside giggling and don't move. Let's give him the Jehovah's Witness treatment.
This is like elementary school all over again.
We're crawling across the floor. Silver Pop says, Jeffrey, are you sure Randy did this impersonation of Booker shooting a fadeaway jumper, falling to the ground there? It was a lot like that. It was a lot like that. Big George says, I'm all for having the Raven Kid in studio. Yeah, because it'll aggravate Ralph. See right through you.
You're not slick, George.
He says, no. He says, him and Ralph battled it out last year to see who had a better mock draft. It was a great show, he said.
That's true.
Raven Kid says, just invite me instead of Ralph.
Well, there has to be some intelligence there.
There'll be a lot less anti-Cardinals comments during the draft.
I don't think I made any anti-Cardinal.
I don't think so, actually, because the Cardinals were doing a good job last year.
Yeah, Monty Awesomefart did really good. And we won't know what happens until Thursday night, but I am guessing they are going to trade back. Somebody's trading up, and Awesomefart is wheeling and dealing. I really believe that.
Just depends what do you want. I mean, it's easier just to pick
because I don't think
to pick Marvin Harrison Jr.
But that's also a winner too.
They're not desperate, so if they don't get the deal that they like, and that's the reason why he's opening it up now, because he's just like, listen, you've got from now until we make that pick to get your ducks in a row and give us an offer that's really good. Because if it's not good, we're just going to take Marvin Harrison. It's not. Monty doesn't have to move down. He's just open to the idea. You have to give him something good enough to make it worth his while.
Oh, he's loving this.
Oh, yeah.
He's loving this. And I would be shocked. But I mean, seriously, I can't tell you which way. They may have already decided they want that wide receiver. They're going to go the easy route. I mean, there is no wrong answer for the Arizona Cardinals, as long as if they do give up that pick, they get a haul that we all agree. Oh, yeah, that was worth it.
Yeah, which they probably will, because if someone doesn't show up with the right pick, we still got 6 picks in the top 90. Like we're good.
I just want to see if the Vikings are stupid enough to actually make that trade.
Yes.
Well, it's desperation makes you stupid, right? Like if you waited until the last second to buy something that you could have bought much cheaper earlier, then yeah, you're going to pay a very unfair price. Like if you're one of those people that lives in Florida and there's a hurricane coming and you didn't buy water beforehand, and then you go out to the store and water, a bottle of water is $50. That's you. You still need water, but
if it wasn't for the Broncos, they could have got Zach Wilson. They'd have Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold. I mean, that would be amazing.
Wow. The Broncos are cracking me up. I'm not even kidding.
Combine castaway Jets quarterbacks.
That would have been funny to watch.
The Broncos don't have a clue right now.
No.
They got 3 guys who aren't worth a damn. They don't make one good quarterback. 3 guys that don't make one good quarterback, and we're supposed to believe they've got some good idea. They have no idea.
Zach Wilson was the best they could get on short notice. They are drafting a guy, and they're going to desperation draft, and that's a bad idea. It's just a bad idea.
Yeah, well, the Broncos, they got pantsed on Wilson. They're going to get pantsed again. They're running out of stuff to give away. What are they going to give away?
Running out of money, too.
They had to move on from Russell Wilson because they didn't like him in that contract. They had to get out from it before they had to pay the bulk of it and get stuck with it again. But the result of that is that they showed their hand. Everybody knows they need a quarterback, and everybody can't wait to fleece them.
All right, listen, we had to take a break. We come back. Let's do it. We're talking NFL. We're getting ready for the NFL draft. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Spring is the perfect time for cleaning out the clutter and updating your home, but it's also the perfect time to refresh your financial plans. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my spring cleaning list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40 and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Spring is a time for fresh starts. Sweep away financial uncertainties and make sure your family is protected with SelectQuote.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-461-4545. That's 1-800-461-4545. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-461-4545. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I've finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Celebrating 30 years of AmeriCorps looks like building lifetime change makers in Arizona communities. From serving children alongside First Things First to Executive Director of Prevent Child Abuse Arizona. From the Pinal County Sheriff's Office to the Governor's Office, serving with AmeriCorps today creates limitless potential for every new member to lead Arizona tomorrow. Where will AmeriCorps take you? Join the movement by signing up at serve.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family.
Attention business owners, do you need zero money down financing on new or used equipment? Meet Dylan Cohen at JR Capital, your gateway to equipment financing that breaks the mold. JR Capital offers zero money down financing options on both new and used equipment, vehicles, heavy machinery, and more. It's a game changer, giving you the power to enhance your operations without slowing you down or denting your cash flow. Need a boost in working capital or a flexible line of credit? Dylan can help your business get the cash flow it needs fast. The process is a breeze too, with a simple application and same-day approvals. No more waiting, no more hassle. Just a straightforward path to securing the funds you need faster and easier than asking your banker. Call Dylan Cohen at JR Capital today at 602-834-7353 or click on Finance with Dylan at moneyradio.com. Call Dylan Cohen 602-834-7353 and get the money you need for your business today. 1580, The Fanatic.
The Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Now that the Suns game is underway, we probably have the population of the Dakotas listening. That's about it. Fighting Hawk, I was right, says if only the Denver Broncos had a decent quarterback in their roster that was still under contract this season. Oh, wait, they did, and they couldn't wait to get rid of him. Sean Payton's tenure in Denver is turning into a disaster. Well, it's not just Sean Payton. You know, he's not the GM.
He's not the GM, but he has a lot of influence in that building, and especially when it comes to what to do at quarterback. That's what they brought him in for. I think they brought him in with the idea that he was going to help fix Russell Wilson, but it just seemed like from the beginning his plan wasn't to fix Russell Wilson, but to throw him away. Like, he just didn't like him from the beginning. He came in basically saying, I don't like the way he does this, I don't like the way he does that. Even in games where Russell Wilson didn't play badly, Sean Payton blamed him for when they lost.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wanted Russ out the building regardless of what Russ did, because they don't match.
Russ had a good year.
Yeah, but Sean wants a guy that plays from the pocket, and Russell Wilson's never going to be that. You can't make him be something he's not.
All right, so actually they have 4 quarterbacks. Oh, no, they have 3. Zach Wilson, Cortland. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Who are the 3? I know it's they got Jarrett Stidham, Zach Wilson, and who's the other guy? Who's the other barn burner?
Let's see.
Ben DiNucci. That's right.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The guy from the
Patriots.
XFL.
Is it XFL,
Was he?
Patriots, Lions, because he had to play on Thanksgiving one week when everybody was hurt. Cowboys briefly.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been all over the place.
Well, the Broncos, they let's see here. Let me look at my draft list here. They are in the number 12 slot. And the Cardinals are sitting at the Cardinals that you think the Cardinals would be the belle of the ball. Like they would, Monty Ossenfort would be getting just absolutely peppered with offers, as well as the Commanders and Patriots.
I'm sure he is, by the way. That they don't want that stuff out there, though. We're not going to know about all the offers that the Cardinals are getting.
Oh yeah, and in fact, the Cardinals they were like, yeah, we're 0 chance we're going to tell you anything about anything. We don't talk first round. So yeah, I'm sure he's. I mean, who's going to keep their pick and use it? Chicago Bears. They're going to keep that pick and use it.
Mm-hmm.
And after they're done, Washington Commandos. They desperately need a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to use their pick. Patriots should use their pick.
The Patriots should use their pick. There have been some rumors out there about them getting out of the pick. I think that's crazy. I don't see how that's happening.
I don't know how. If I would not take the job as coach
unless they just didn't like any, like, if Caleb Williams is going to be Caleb Williams, but if they just didn't like any of the 2 other guys, then fine. Like, you don't have to draft a quarterback if you genuinely don't like the guys on the board.
So the Cardinals, that is the big question. And the Chargers, I don't think they need a quarterback.
They don't need a quarterback, but I think whatever the Chargers want, they can get later. I think the Chargers would love to get out of 5.
The big question mark is, what will the Arizona Cardinals do? If the Arizona Cardinals tell you, we're going to go ahead and just take Marvin Harrison Jr., then the Chargers aren't taking the quarterback, which means the Giants will get their quarterback. So the people that you've got to be talking to, if you really want a quarterback, it's going to be the Commandos and the Patriots. I'm still thinking the Vikings are going to try and figure out a way to get up there. They're going to overpay for it because they're desperate, man. Like, someone's going to overpay Arizona Cardinals for number 4,
and you'd love to get a pick from the Vikings rather than the Giants. Yes.
The overpayment would have to go to the Patriots or the Commandos.
Have you seen all the mock drafts?
Listen, JJ McCarthy is the guy that's left. They need a quarterback. You cannot start this season if you are the Minnesota Vikings and have Sam Darnold be the guy. You just can't. Like, you can't sell that to any fan base.
The Giants desperately need a quarterback, even though they're like, oh, we still believe in Daniel Jones. You lying sons of bitches.
I think they would take JJ if JJ fell to them, but I don't think they're going to try and.
Well, they have Drew Lock.
Who?
I like Drew Lock.
He's a solid backup. We've seen enough. There's nothing else to see from him. He's not a starter. He's not a starter.
So who's giving the Vikings what they want?
Yes, he did. Did he start an entire season in Denver?
I don't count that.
Why don't you count it?
He never got a chance in Seattle. I think he's pretty good.
Okay, he may not have. Why didn't he get a chance in Seattle, Ralph?
Well, because Gino's there.
Okay, but
yeah, I
in
get
Denver, when he was competing against cans of soup, what was the problem then? I mean, like the guy, the guy
he had three offensive coordinators in 3 years.
Okay,
That's hard.
It is difficult, but it's not like that's what we saw that made people think that Drew Lock's
I don't
not
know.
a starter.
I think he's better than people think. I think they've got a good quarterback there, better than Daniel Jones.
I think that Drew Lock is a high end backup, which is still a good thing.
You can hear. Did you hear that? You can hear all the Phoenix fans coming back to listen to the show because they're down 8-0 already. So I just thought I'd throw that out there.
You know, I was quietly keeping it to myself that the very first play of the game that I saw Devin Booker with the ball, and he's running down there at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and he lets go of it out of bounds, and then the Timberwolves got the ball, and I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah, they're already in timeout because it was 8-0.
Damn it.
You know, I was gonna say real quick. You can look at the mock drafts, and you can always tell when a Viking fan's doing a mock draft because they have the Patriots taking JJ McCarthy at
so
3.
so that they can get
So
Drake
they
May.
can get Drake May. It's hilarious. I've seen it like 4 times.
Not
now.
taking
I'm like,
JJ
whatever.
in the top
It's not
3.
happening. Sorry, Donnie.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of disappointment on draft night. I
Really?
think because I just don't see you got your first 3 quarterbacks that are probably going to go to the first 3 picks. I don't see the Patriots giving anything up. I don't see the Commandos giving anything up. So the only chance you have at getting the 4th quarterback is dealing with the Arizona Cardinals or the Chargers, and you won't know for sure what the Cardinals are going to do. I mean, you do.
Well, you do. No,
You do.
They
You
said
take-
they
you
said
take-
they said the pick is open for
Yeah.
business. So they're not.
No, what
committed
I
to
mean
this.
is you don't have to deal with the Cardinals because if they don't do business with you, well, they might be do business with someone else.
Exactly. That's the reason why Monty. Because
It's such a huge question mark. There is what I'm trying to tell you.
There are a lot of teams that will open that up on draft day. They'll say, "Look, come with your best offer today. I don't want to hear things you pitched a week ago. When it's money time, what's your offer?" The reason why the Cardinals said now instead of Thursday that they had the pick open for business is they intentionally want to start a bidding war. That's the only reason you do anything like that. Is we know that the Vikings are sitting there at 11. We know that the Broncos are sitting there at 12. We know that the Giants are sitting there at 6.
Who do you think
Discuss.
has the best ability and the most desperation to trade with the Arizona Cardinals for the pick?
Vikings.
I think the Vikings are the most desperate.
Okay, but do they have the goods?
Yeah. I mean, the Vikings have moved a few things around to make sure that they had 2 picks in the first round to help them get up. And then, of course, you're going to be talking about future first rounders as well, moving in that direction. So whatever it is you do, and remember, last year, I think the Panthers went from 9-1 to get Bryce Young. You're moving from 11 to 4. It's a similar enough range. You're giving up a lot. They remember what the Bears got from the Panthers when they moved up. There's no way Monty says no to that if someone's silly enough to do it. The Vikings might be silly enough to do it.
You know what I don't get? I know we're talking about these certain guys, but you got 2 other guys sitting there with Penix and Nix, and I think they're both potentially very, very good. And they're getting kind of overlooked a little bit. These guys could wind up being better than a couple of the guys we're talking about down the
Might be quarterbacks the Vikings and other teams might have to settle for.
I really like Bo Nix, and Penix, if he can stay healthy, he's got a lot of talent.
Penix has a lot of talent. I didn't like some of the decision making with Penix when I went back and watched it. Like they're just players running wide open that he didn't see. He's the oldest guy in this draft. But he can still be good. He's just got to land in the right spot. And I think with Nix, I honestly think if the Broncos tap out and just stay where they are, they might sit there and hope that Bo Nix falls to them because he fits what Sean Payton wants.
I agree.
Moist One says Vikings will trade up for Marvin Harrison and Justin Jefferson will be gone soon after.
That's dumb. It's a money play, but it's dumb.
Moist was just being Moist One. By the way, I saw this a few minutes ago. I forgot to tell you. You know, remember you said Herm Edwards was taking a 3-year show cause penalty? Turns out it's 5 years.
It's
5 years, which also doesn't matter because he'll never ever coach again.
It doesn't make a difference.
But then George just put this up saying Regina Jackson, the mother of former ASU quarterback Jaden Daniels, who won the Heisman at LSU and his expected first-round NFL draft pick, was determined to have provided impermissible benefits to recruits by the NCAA Committee on Infractions. Regina Jackson helped arrange and pay for recruits and their plane tickets to Tempe, Arizona.
Yeah, they were aiming for a little deniability. If one of them didn't schedule it, buy the ticket, all of that, then they were going to avoid that. I don't know how the NCAA enforces that because they would need to prove that that wasn't something that she just wanted to do.
Also, it doesn't matter to Jaden Daniels at all.
Yeah, he's a pro.
Average Joe says, sitting at a bar here in Minneapolis, Suns better step it up because I can't watch the game with all these loud Timberwolves fans. It's going to be a long night.
That's a 3-point game, man.
Yeah, things are cinching up a bit, but you're right. They better get on a run here and quick. When we come back, we're talking nothing but NFL stuff, getting you ready for the NFL draft. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
It's not just a job. It's shaping the heart of our city. The City of Chandler's Public Works and Utilities Department is the driving force behind our city's success. We invest in you with continued training, benefits, and a supportive team environment where career advancement is in your future. Learn more at jointeamchandler.com. Be a part of something bigger. This message is sponsored by the City of Chandler.
As we plan for our retirement, there are 4 questions we need to ask ourselves or our retirement planning advisor. How much? How long? How safe? And what cost? Let's start with how much. That is, how much income we think we'll need each and every year for the rest of our lives, including all the activities we want to enjoy during our retirement, like travel, recreation, and entertainment. Plus the cost of housing, including repair and maintenance, taxes, insurance, and utilities, as well as the cost of healthcare, including expenses not covered by Medicare.
Enjoy safe, secure lifetime income of 5 to 9% for life, depending on age and deferral period, with no fee deductions and no annuitizing. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so let's compare free in Scottsdale. For more, visit IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. We got Ralph from Harmon Solar, who I would also push off a roof. We got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And before we jump into all the NFL stuff, right now I'm going to tell you the Wolves are up 10-5 over the Suns. and looks like they won a challenge against the Suns. I think it was a blocking. It ended up being a blocking foul on Nurkic. So whatever. Before we do get into all that, though, I do need to issue a man card change of opinion that I have. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, do we really need assault rifles to hunt deer? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just kind of feel like, there's other ways of hunting the deer that you don't have to have an assault rifle. You just have a regular rifle. We don't need fully automatic ordnance to take down a deer. I feel sorry for the deer. In fact, I'd say let's go hunt them with bow and arrow. That's a nice way to go. I mean, it's not nice, but I mean, still, it's more of a sporting chance, right? Instead of, or I just feel like, I don't know, I felt sorry for the poor deer and the elk and the antelope or whatever. And then I found this out. Maybe we should be a little more wary of Bambi than of Jaws, because deer more deadly to Americans every year than sharks, alligators, bears, and snakes combined. So, for example, there were 2 deaths by shark in 2023. But every year, deer account for 59,000 human injuries and 440 deaths.
I thought you were just going to say 59. I didn't.
Yeah. I changed my opinion. I think you should be allowed to kill a deer with anything you've got handy.
Is that because we hit him with cars?
I think a lot of that's got to be cars.
Yeah.
But I still, with that being the issue, if you have a machine gun mounted on your car, you should be allowed to use it on a deer. So the deers are way more crazy and killer than the sharks.
Well,
so I say you see a deer, you shoot him on sight.
Well, because sharks don't even like to eat people. It's usually a
yeah,
mistake.
we don't taste good to them.
When a shark gets you, it's a mistake. Usually.
Deer love to eat people, and that's a problem.
Yeah, zombie deer. Yes.
Yeah. So that is now my official change of opinion, where I was like, I don't think we need assault rifles to take out deer. I think now, bazooka will do too. I think if you've got a bazooka, you got some C4, you got a machine gun, you got a 50 cal mounted on the top of your Toyota Sequoia. I don't care how you do it. These deer's got to go.
I can see that.
Anyway,
at 59,000, that's just like a staggering number.
59,000 people getting hurt by deer. At some point, you're like, these sons of bitches are doing this on purpose.
Yeah, stepping in front of our cars on purpose.
And then stopping?
That's what I'm saying.
It's the stopping. It's because if they step in front of the car and just keep going, well, that's
deer in headlights. Yeah. That ain't on accident. No animal can be that stupid. So anyways, that is my official stance now. Any gun, you want a drone with a flamethrower, take out the deer. Just take out the deer. We got to protect ourselves. They're organized. Clearly, they're organized.
Now, let the orca have organized. I'm just saying.
No, they. Well, I don't go in the ocean, so I don't care what they do.
I'm just saying if it's possible for one animal to organize.
I just don't go in the ocean.
I'm with you on that, by the way.
I'll wade in a little bit, but after that, there's no reason for me to be out there. Hefty Lefty says, hey, don't forget our emergency quarterback. You remember for the Broncos, Kendall Hinton. I don't think they will ever do that again, Hefty. They will never do that again.
That was a disaster. That was not what they wanted.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, well, looks like Ralph's house looks pretty safe. Rest in peace, Suns. It's 16-9.
In the first quarter, basketball is a game of runs. What are we doing?
I have the runs. Really not related to this, but fine. Fighting Hawk says, there are surprisingly a lot of Denver Bronco fans in the Dakotas. They and Vikings fans are the most popular NFL teams there in the Dakotas.
Vikings make sense, but Denver doesn't.
You people are getting more and more boring.
It's just all it has to do is TV coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Ringless Joe says, what is worse? Getting swept by a team you didn't beat once during the regular season, or getting swept by a team you beat in every meeting of the regular season?
The latter.
The second one.
Yeah.
Because being swept is bad no matter what.
It's bad no matter what. But if you've shown that you can beat them and you somehow weren't able to win a single game when it mattered, that ain't great.
By the way, it's 16-12 now. So
It's a 48-minute game. What are we
Don't
doing?
panic.
Just micromanaging the first
But
quarter.
what you're seeing is a lot of Phoenix turnovers. That's their fifth one just now.
That was the first play of the game for the Suns was a turnover. So
Lots of
they
turnovers.
got to get that sorted out and quick. 888-368-1580. So John Lynch believes in bloodlines. He says, I'm a big believer in bloodlines. Now, when it comes to coaching, I'm not really into that. But when it comes to players, okay. I mean,
it matters in coaching too.
But no, I understand. But I'll be honest, I don't think it matters in either, really. You're either good at it or you're not good at it. It doesn't matter what your bloodline is. Michael Jordan's kids, not one of them can dunk a ball. Not one of them is any good at basketball. They didn't want to. They wanted to try to live up to that. And, LeBron's kid is not as good as his dad. You might be able to make a game at it, but they're not going to live up. So the bloodline thing, I just don't agree, and I don't know that it's not a universal thing. And John Lynch,
we got an Antoine Winfield Jr., a Joey Porter Jr., a Christian McCaffrey.
Well,
We've got Marvin Harrison Jr.
and
coming
Ed
into the
McCaffrey.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Luke
saying.
McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So I don't know that the bloodlines is something that you should be drafting on. Or working on as much as John Lynch seems like he is prone to do. I know you're talking about the kids of a Hall of Fame player, and you're talking about the kids of guys you played with. But that's a dangerous thing. You could find yourself, you can find yourself in trouble as a GM doing that. You got to take them as they are and what they are, and that's it. Don't say, well, but that is Ed McCaffrey's kid, so he'll get better. No, you assess the talent as if you didn't know who their parents were.
Without knowing, I agree with you, but I do think that you should think about it a little. Not like it shouldn't be the biggest thing informing your decision or even in the top 5, but it is something to consider that you have somebody who's been immersed in this thing since they were a kid. That's the reason why a lot of teams like coaches' kids, because it's just you're around the business, so you kind of understand it a little bit better. You're just ahead of other kids, and so that it kind of snowballs into an advantage for you if you love the sport enough to put in the work and have the talent and all that other stuff. Like everything else there is more important. But if there are two guys and they're pretty even, is that a tiebreaker for you, or is that your whole evaluation process?
Right. Yeah, I just I don't know, maybe he's also just doing a little misdirection, on what he's thinking about in this draft.
It is the time of year where you can't really trust a whole lot of GMs, but I do think that a lot of GMs think that way, but I just don't know where he ranks that in importance. Is that number 1 or number 13?
I wish I had a better quarterback. I wish my Colts had a better quarterback. I mean,
you liked Anthony Richardson.
Well, I mean, until he got hurt every other week, and then it looks like he's
been one season of Anthony Richardson. This is why guys never develop, because you see a guy get dinged up one year, convinced they'll never learn and change anything.
Like it was one injury.
It wasn't, but it was one season. It's a rookie season.
Okay, watch what happens.
That's his flaw. Look,
watch what happens this season.
I mean, we'll see.
Colts have the number 15 pick. Is there any quarterback that could fall to them that they could be like, just in case?
Why would you?
Just in case.
Now, like, if you're going to do it that way, you should do it the way the Eagles did it, where they had Carson Wentz. Carson appeared to be declining. Then they went Jalen Hurts second round. You don't use your first rounder not supporting your quarterback.
Right. Yeah,
it's just a waste of draft capital.
It's a slap in the face.
You could have been getting him an offensive lineman. You could have been getting him a wide receiver so that, hey, this guy separates. He doesn't even have to run. Like, support him.
Just in case.
You're going to just in case your way out of not building your team.
Not in the first round.
I'm going to, needless injury myself out of not having a team.
Okay, but if he can't stay healthy and okay, this is it. There's no growth from the guy.
Man, I got to suffer another year like this. That ain't fair to me.
You don't know if you've got to suffer another year like that. I got Joe Flacco
on the bench, Keon. I got Joe Flacco.
Every team has a quarterback they don't want to see starting on the bench. That's how bench quarterbacks work.
It's like the vice president. You're like, oh man, we can't assassinate that guy, or else the vice president's going to be on there. Yeah.
Probably a good point.
There are some presidents who have done that.
Bat Flipper says Anthony Richardson could be Lamar Jackson. No, I think I feel like he could be more of a throwing quarterback than Lamar Jackson. It's just that when he does run the ball, he does it with complete reckless abandon.
I mean, look at what Lamar turned into, though. Like, as a throwing quarterback, Lamar didn't really run. Like, as a fantasy person who had Lamar Jackson last year, they stopped running with him. Like, the points that you got that were ridiculous, the 50-point games, you didn't get those. Lamar was beating people from the pocket.
Ringless Joe, this is going to be the last basketball text that we do because we're trying to talk football here. But he says, I think Phoenix fans are just upset with always being promised greatness and getting nothing but disappointment. I'm not even asking for an NBA Finals win at this point, but you can't get first round bounce with how much investment was put in this team at the cost of the team's future.
I am so annoyed at the conversation we are having right now.
You just be annoyed at Ringless Joe. He said it.
The first
Ralph didn't say
quarter
anything.
I agree with Ringless Joe.
Now we're annoyed with Ralph.
We are in the first quarter of game 2.
20
and
to
we are
17.
talking about getting bounced.
It's the mediocre
This
season.
this fan base. Like, I'm not saying you have
We're
to.
hurt,
You don't
Keon.
have to believe. You don't have to. I'm not asking you to do something insane. I'm simply saying watch the game before you jump to conclusions. That's all I'm saying.
We've been hurt before, Keon. We've been
so
hurt.
finish the game and be hurt then. What are we doing?
Well, I'm not doing it. I'm just telling you.
I'm not.
Even Washington won a title. Come on.
Can you believe that?
I know.
I wasn't alive. And look, I haven't seen the Wizards play competent basketball in like 30 years.
Yeah, but the Phoenix fans would take that one title and that incompetence on top of it.
They wouldn't, because
they would. They want a title.
Okay, so none of the Phoenix fans my age would take that, because what good is a title won in
Why is it always about you?
1979? All I'm saying is, if it was that long between winning a title and now, like, you're still not happy all these years later.
But to his point, every year it's about how good they're going to be or how good a Phoenix team's going to be, and they never are.
There's a whole canyon of time between Steve Nash and Devin Booker where that wasn't even true. So, like, it's not every year.
But they lose every year.
Most teams lose every year.
See, I wouldn't understand that. I don't understand that.
Okay, so like that's why we're not talking to you. We're talking about most teams in this league. Stop acting like the Suns are the only team that have good teams and they're disappointed. What do you think the Pacers thought when they had those Paul George teams and they kept running into LeBron every year? They just
Keon's yelling, and I'm just sitting here wanting to talk NFL.
It's nonsense. Just stop with the woe is me in the first quarter of a game 2 in the first round of the playoffs.
I got you, Ringless Joe.
Well, Minnesota's 22, Phoenix is 19, and they're playing a game right now. They're playing a game. But then they were playing a game in the first quarter of the last one, so who knows what's going to happen?
Well, yeah, but like, watch it first. That's all I'm saying. Let it happen.
You're yelling at Ringless Joe, you know. Don't yell at me.
I am
Don't
yelling
you
at
yell at
Ringless
me.
Joe. This
You
is
ain't my daddy.
Slash Ringless Joe is not the only member of this fan base that I've seen express that exact sentiment, like, with no evidence.
Well, I wouldn't say no evidence, but
to say
everything he said does check out. Let me go just step by step here. I think Phoenix fans are just upset with always being promised greatness and getting nothing but disappointment. This has happened. Okay. I'm not even asking for an NBA Finals win. Thank you for being reasonable. He said, but you can't get first round bounce with how much investment was put into this team at the cost of the team's future.
There's no evidence.
You have to admit, if we get bounced in the first round, that is going to look so bad for us.
I understand that and I agree, but why even bring up the if? We're in game 2. It's round 1. That's the first quarter. What are we doing?
It would be bad.
It would be bad,
Yeah,
but let's not go if to something it's not happening. Like, what are we doing?
It'd be bad if the Lakers got swept too.
It wouldn't be as bad though, because that's the defending champs. We're talking about the Suns, and there's no point in going to a hypothetical.
I'd be very sad if they get.
There's no point in going to a hypothetical of something that we're not even close to seeing happen yet.
Why are you so angry?
Because I root for an actually bad team. So hearing people, woe is me. My team won 16 games, and I watched most of them lose. Like, what? I watched like 60 Wizard games this year. No one should have to do that to themselves. So, like, I'm hearing
You should have just changed your fandom. You can now because
No,
you
I
live here. So you
can't.
could be a Suns fan.
I don't do that. I've moved a bunch of times. I don't move teams.
Maybe now is your moment.
No, because I'm a loyal fan, and I'm a loyal fan to all my teams, all my life, basically.
I don't know, Brunswick guy. He says, "Why is Keon yelling? It's scaring the kids in the car."
Brunswick guy texts this every time, and I think I've been pretty clear about why I'm yelling. Nonsense, Brunswick guy. Nonsense.
I feel like you're going to get a call from CPS about this.
I don't think that's how that works. They're not my kids. You should turn your radio off. I don't know.
You don't know.
Like, if you're scaring your kids, this is not a family-friendly show, and I'm not even swearing.
Yeah, we've been kind of family-friendly lately. I've been pretty tame.
That's
like the last couple of days,
Wow.
We had a
don't trust
you know
it.
what?
You never know what's going to happen next.
I'm not even going to bring up what we were saying earlier in the show, but fine.
What were we saying
We made
earlier in the show?
a Virginia.
Oh no, the vagina thing, that was not me.
That wasn't you.
That wasn't me.
But it was this show. And,
No, it was-
we haven't
I think
been.
it was-
I'm saying we haven't been family friendly because
Yeah.
Moist One texted in earlier.
No,
so like,
it was-
that's already
It was Kiss the Cook that said vagina.
Uh,
And that's a clinical term. I think that's okay.
okay. So the Moist One's text about the two texters from the Dakotas being top and bottom was just a
I thought
family.
you were talking about bunk beds.
Okay. All right.
I don't know what you're upset about. So here's something that could affect, the draft, or I guess it won't affect the draft. The NFL is saying now we're not ready yet to make a determination on the Falcons-Eagles tampering investigation. So we'll let you know next week. Wow. Are you really trying to help the Eagles and the Falcons, really? The Falcons need the most help, because if they were to do a thing, it wasn't going to be a first-round pick that they have to trade, right? Like a second or a third?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's what Arizona did. Arizona had to switch like second or third round picks when they got busted for this.
Yeah, I don't know
Tampering.
exactly what they want to take from them, but they are trying to avoid doing it this draft because you want the eyeballs this draft.
Well, let's review. So the Falcons are number 8, and I don't know who they're looking to get. And then the Eagles are they got the 22nd pick. They're not going to switch the first round pick, so this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even if they had done it, how much was that going to matter?
It depends, because if it's a first rounder for Atlanta,
It wouldn't be a first round.
You're sitting there at 8. I mean, even the first 3 rounds of the draft is where most of the talent comes from. It does matter.
You don't remember? I thought it was a third round pick that the Cardinals had to trade with the Eagles. Why are the Eagles always involved in these tampering cases? Why does everybody want to tamper with the Eagles? They're not that interesting, to be honest.
Well, it's not tampering with the Eagles. It's their former players. And it's in the case of the Cardinals, it was a coaching thing. It was Gannon.
Oh, well, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So I don't know. Will they care more if it's a player than a coach?
That's what I'm trying to find out, because it is different. And so I don't know off the top of my head if the penalty is the same or if it's a different penalty.
Oh, wait a second. Wait, they're both in trouble. Falcons and Eagles. It says here, if either is found guilty of tampering with Kirk Cousins and Saquon Barkley, they're going to lose picks. Oh, so this isn't a trading of picks things. That's a losing the picks thing.
Yeah, because I know with the Dolphins last season, I think the Dolphins had a tampering thing. Their first rounder was gone.
All right, so they both could lose pay. I wonder where do you lose picks when that happens? I don't. They still. There's just no way. First round.
Forfeit it.
They would not do that first round.
They did it for the Dolphins.
Yeah, they will. It depends on the severity of the.
Yeah,
situation.
it depends. Like
Who gets those picks?
If nobody,
They just disappear.
So they disappear and everybody moves up.
It's a forfeited pick. So they just do skip 7 and go straight to 9.
Kind of like that with my Colts at 15.
And if you
that's bull crap.
And if you're the Falcons and you're sitting there going, yeah, we're gonna get Dallas Turner. No, you're not.
Zaccaroni says, so is he upset at a fan for using if? Isn't that the most of the sports journalism reporting right there? If the Cardinals can get Michael Harrison Jr., Marvin Harrison Jr. At 4, if the Suns could win enough games to get the 6th seed, if the Wizards will ever be good, The last one is doubtful, but you can certainly say if it.
That's also a hypothetical that I won't be entertaining anytime soon. But no, it's just like the thing is, it's not just the if, it's also the associated misery from the if, as though the if has already happened, and it has not.
I'll say this. Minnesota 24, Phoenix 21. And if the Phoenix Suns don't start to put some more points together, I kind of smell a replay of what happened on Saturday.
They've looked a whole lot better in the last.
They came out turning the ball over
several minutes. Yeah,
Ralph is right about that.
But they haven't in a while, at least not consistently. Or
it was close at the end of the first quarter last time. Is what I'm saying.
At the rate that they were. Yeah, I'm not saying that this is a guarantee or anything. Just they're working on it.
Nobody say if for a while. We're trying to calm Keon down.
You can say if.
He's very passionate about
the problem wasn't the if. I just hate it. How do I phrase this?
It's a tie game. It's a tie game.
I think that if you're worried about what happens if your team loses before they're done playing, that's a mentality, a fan mentality I don't understand.
I learned something. If Keon is all shouty and getting aggravated, he forgets to tell me this.
Well, that's not even shouty. It's anytime I'm talking, I can't multitask very well. I'm sorry.
You didn't tell me that in the job interview.
Why would that come up?
I don't multitask.
Usually in the past, I've done a show by myself, so it's just the clock's just right in front of my face. I talk and then I see the time.
Silver Pop says, I agree with Keon. As fans, we let our emotions get the best of us. There's a lot of social media athletes critical of these professionals. If you're a couch point guard or a couch quarterback, save it. Grab a hold of your Ginobili's and watch the game. Man, that's frustrating.
I don't know. Just stop being mad at pretend things. That's all.
Just
it hasn't happened yet. It's a fictional thing. It has not.
It's happened in the past.
I hope
it's not. It's not the future. That's not how the future works.
I hope you haven't just shouted "Ringless Joe" to another radio show. That's all I hope. Because I'm sorry.
I've been here for like nearly 3 years. If that is the thing that can happen, then I'm shocked he was still here. To be
only
honest,
been 3 years. Huh? Thought it was longer.
Not quite.
Feels
actually.
longer.
Almost.
Probably just feels longer because we're 5 minutes late for a break. So
I'm waiting for you to say the thing now that you know, but you didn't.
I can't help it. I can't.
2 days in a row.
I mean, I'm not stressing out about it. Just whenever you're ready.
Ron's at the bar right now, so we will not get in trouble.
So we're okay.
He is a couple of beers deep right now. The Phoenix Suns are now up 26-24. So we're just gonna. I wish we were just going off the air now. Suns win. And then the Timberwolves steal the ball. Another turnover. All right, taking a break. When we come back, more NFL stuff that makes Keon shout. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NFL draft begins on Thursday night in Detroit. The Chicago Bears have the #1 overall pick, and USC quarterback Caleb Williams, the overwhelming favorite to get taken #1 overall, minus 20,000. Jaden Daniels, the quarterback out of LSU, plus 7,500 to go #1. The #2 pick belongs to Washington. Daniels is the betting favorite to go to the Commanders at minus 390. UNC quarterback Drake May, plus 370 to be the second pick. The New England Patriots have the 3rd overall pick, and that is where May is the betting favorite, minus 220 to go to the Pats. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey there, you and aisle 2. I see you by the fiber and laxatives. You still using those to manage your constipation with belly pain? If your symptoms keep coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. So you may need more than over-the-counter treatments to manage it. Ask your doctor about how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Life is full of bright moments, but sometimes those moments can seem too far away. Trained and caring crisis specialists in Arizona can assist you with any situation, big or small. Free and confidential help is only one text away, day or night. Text the word HOPE to 4HOPE. That's HOPE to 44673. These moments matter, and so do you. This message is sponsored by Solari Crisis and Human Services.
Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harman Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harman Solar Podcast at harmansolar.com.
AZ Preps 365, your source for all the news, info, highlights, and more. Athlete news and interviews. Talk with coaches. Keep you up to date with the changes, moves, upcoming events, and more. AZ Preps 365, Arizona's ultimate prep sports show. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot. AZ Preps 365, Saturday mornings 8 till 10 on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Not only are the Suns up 36-31 over the Timberwolves, Christian Walker just hit a 3-run home run to give the Diamondbacks a 4-1 lead over the St. Louis Cardinals. It was a 418-foot home run. Thank you for the info on that, Big George. 888-368-1580. I just thought maybe they would have had a meeting. I just thought maybe they would have had a sit down. You know what I'm saying? Somebody would have had to sit down and say, listen, hey, we need to stop saying that. You know, we need to stop saying that. But they didn't. They did not. And then, you know, was today Tuesday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Earlier today, Jerry Jones, yeah, we're all in on the draft. He said it. He said the words. We're all in.
I hope that they're not all in on the draft the way they were all in on free agency when they did.
Cowboys,
nothing.
Cowboys have the 24th pick. You know, they're not doing anything interesting, but yet I think now it's just an inside joke. Whatever happens, just tell them we're all in. That's what we're doing. Just tell everybody that. It's me, okay? We just tell them we're all in. Everybody, oh, this is gonna be fun. Shut the hell up, Jerry Jones. You were all in on plastic surgery and groping a girl in an elevator. Outside of that, you're not all in on nothing.
Wow.
My God. Okay, so you're all in. What does that mean? Is anybody asking him what the hell that means?
No, because he goes on his own radio show, that is his segment on the local radio show, and says this stuff. They're not challenging him there because it's the Cowboy station.
I don't think he's even fully aware. Here's what he said. Woo, we're very proud of this roster. Woo, we feel very good. very good about the promise of the roster this season. We feel great about what we've been in free agency. We are all in. We're all in on the draft. Okay, first off, you have nothing to feel good about free agency. You did nothing. And if that's what I'm supposed to take from this, I expect you to do nothing in the draft. In fact,
settle down just a little bit.
They'll be sitting there and they're like, and the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock, 24. We're all in. Who are you picking? Woo! No, Jerry, we need a pick. Jerry, what do you get? We're running out of time. What happens if he just sits there screaming, we're all in? Does his pick go on to somebody else? Do they pick for him?
Yeah, you just lose the pick.
When you do fantasy football, it'll just pick the next guy up. If you
they don't have auto draft in the actual draft. they just you lose the pick.
Yep.
Please, Jerry Jones.
You forfeit the pick if you don't make a pick.
I mean, I don't care what happens with the Cowboys, but this is just horrible. Just stop saying that. I've had enough.
I care. I just think it's going to be funny.
You want to hear something that's really sad? 4 of the 5 first-round picks, the quarterbacks from 2021, have been traded, and all of them for day 3 draft picks.
Wow.
Isn't that just sad? Yeah, so here we're making all this big deal about the quarterbacks this year. If you go back to that and you're like, oh, that Zach Wilson's looking really good. Oh, my God.
Yeah, but also the last few drafts, the quarterback pool has been weak.
I don't know. The draft that Zach Wilson was in was considered a strong draft.
Here's who is going for a day 3 pick. Zach Wilson. He is going for a 7th round pick. Let's see. The 49ers traded their number 3 overall pick to get Trey Lance to the Cowboys for a 4th round pick. The Bears traded number 11 overall pick Justin Fields to the Steelers for a 6th round pick. Which could become a 4th round pick if Fields plays, time incentives. Patriots traded number 15 overall pick Mac Jones to the Jaguars for a 6th round pick. And the only person still left on the team is where they were drafted, Trevor Lawrence. That's it. And he ain't been spectacular. He's been all right.
Yeah, he's been good. And last year, honestly, he could have looked so much better. But there is a 2-minute long video of passes Trevor Lawrence threw that Jaguars receivers dropped in the end zone specifically. He was pretty awesome. It's just they don't give you any credit for missed catches. So
you're right. So this is just not speaking well of the 2021 draft class. So here we are getting all excited about 2024.
Yeah, but that's because we're talking about them as prospects. Like there's still more stuff that happens after the draft, obviously. And I'd be interested in going back and seeing like where did all these quarterbacks go? Because if they go to teams that are usually known for not developing quarterbacks or just being bad organizations in general, that probably explains more of anything than the guy themselves. Because sometimes it's just where you land. If you land in New York with the Jets, you're kind of screwed sometimes. If you're a Bear.
Yeah, that's the fear.
Yeah, I mean, that's you can ask Ralph. Ralph's worried about Caleb. It's Chicago does not have a history of developing quarterbacks well. I'm hoping that this is different, but
they've never had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards ever. Think about that.
That's insane.
Never in the history since the 1930s.
It's never happened.
You go back through, look at some of the guys that had to play quarterback for them.
When Jim McMahon is your best guy, you got issues.
Yeah, and he wasn't that good.
Yeah,
he had one good year.
The 85 Bears
picked the right one for it.
Yeah. Look, it's sometimes it's just about landing spot. Like I liked Bryce Young as a prospect in college, but he landed with the Panthers and they're bad.
Yeah, they're bad. So, I so wanted to see Caleb Williams go to the Washington Commanders.
Washington broke RG3. Speaking of which,
that's true.
It's just.
You broke more than a couple of quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah. I remember when Jason Campbell came out of Auburn. I still feel bad for that dude. He could have been good if he went
I forgot about him.
Anywhere else. It's just sometimes it's the organization. And
so the Raiders are picking at 13. Can you get a good quarterback at 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ralph thinks you can.
In this draft, you can get a solid one. It depends. Right. It depends on how you feel about Bo Nix or Michael Penix.
Well, that might be you. Because the Raiders have reached out to the Commandos about trading up to that number 2 overall pick. How do you feel about that?
What are they giving? If you give up 3 first rounders, we might have a conversation.
I don't think you would.
So here's
'cause
what
three first rounders. Like we remember what the Bears are doing right now. They're drafting Caleb Williams with whose pick? Carolina's.
Yeah.
So if the Raiders draft a guy, develop him, stink, don't get any better.
If I'm the Raiders, I don't do this. If I'm the Raiders, I don't do this.
I don't do it either.
But I'll be laughing my ass off if they do.
The Panthers have to be the cautionary tale on what happens when you give up a ton of talent to go get that quarterback, and now he doesn't have any talent to work with. I think it would be insane for the Raiders to do that from 13 to jump to 2. You're getting fleeced in a way that is generational.
Mm-hmm. And Telesco's got to know that.
Does he? Because look at what he did with the Chargers.
He says,
didn't exactly build a good Chargers team.
Have a plan. We have a plan to go up if we have to and be aggressive with it when it comes to that first round pick. So they've got some sort of now. Whether or not it will be enough, if it's going to be enough, that we'll see how drunk any of them are.
Yeah. Because I would bet money Adam Peters is going to ask for your 24 number 1, your 25 number 1, and your 26 number 1 to get to 2.
I don't think anyone's going to drink as much as the Vikings. I really feel they're going to do something really stupid.
They're under orders too.
I think it's going to be an idiotic move. It's going to be something as stupid as giving up number 1 picks and even Justin Jefferson. Something just stupid.
Yeah, and that's the word that you have to watch out for with the Vikings. Something, and that's going to be the thing we're going to kind of poop our pants over a little bit.
They're not going to give up Justin Jefferson, but they're going to give up something that they need, and it's going to cost everything. It's so bad. Don't move from 11. Be patient and see if you can get your guy. Or just, you know what? Sam Darnold's your bridge quarterback. Admit you're going to be bad, and then be at the top of the draft next year without having to give anything up.
That bridge is in Baltimore, though. That's a bad bridge.
Any good quarterbacks next year?
It's
a weak quarterback draft.
It's a weaker draft, but to me,
it's going to get crazy this year.
To me, if you're just there and you have a chance to scratch the lottery ticket and you didn't give up anything to get it, it's like, okay, well, people miss on first rounders. We've had drafts that people said were weak, and then the draft class actually performed better than expected. Just don't tear your whole team to pieces trying to get one player.
Right. Raven Kid says these NFL teams need to learn this isn't the NBA. Selling the house for one player doesn't make the difference. And the Panthers, they are paying the price.
Well, the thing is, like, the NFL teams aren't crazy, though. They don't have a lot of time to prove that they're worth anything to the ownership that they answer to. So, yeah, like, obviously one guy, but you need a quarterback. And sometimes the owners go get me one. That's what happened to the Panthers. David Tepper said, go get me one. So they did something dumb.
Teriyaki says, this is interesting. Lakers aren't even playing tonight, but LeBron is still shooting free throws. Huh. Yeah, that makes sense.
What?
Wow. Bat Flipper says, Keon is Adam Sandler. Jeffrey is Jack Nicholson in anger management movie, especially the plane scene. Yeah, I have played that part for Keon on more than a few occasions. You are absolutely right. Well done, Bat Flipper. Well done.
Stop it.
Hey, I'm happy about a few things. One, Jim Irsay is, saying, hey, it wasn't an overdose. I want to believe you. And
I want to believe him too.
He says, no, I had a respiratory thing. And then he says, listen, I know when you have your name in the paper, people throw that out there pretty quick. Oh, it's an overdose. He says, I don't think that's fair. He says, no, but I got a leg injury. I got a hematoma. How'd you get that? Oh, probably from all the drugs I took. Anyway, but he says, no, just had to have surgery and all that. And he says, I'm going to be virtually in the draft room, but I'm not going to actually be there because still recovering. Listen, as long as he's okay, I don't care. I mean, I don't want him to die or nothing. But if if he's doing the drugs and then he's a grown ass man, I hope you take care of yourself and maybe don't do that. Then make sure there's some Narcan around. But but I got nothing wrong with nothing wrong with Jim Irsay. He seems like a pretty good guy. So he's recovering and excited about the draft night. Also got to be excited about this. Isaiah Rodgers has been reinstated after he got in trouble for all that gambling.
And we're happy about this because
now, he went for the Eagles, didn't he? Oh, we cut him. Never mind. Screw it.
I noticed some of these guys that are coming back from their gambling reinstatement are getting cut the day that they come back. The commander said, "Welcome back, Shaka Tony. Bye."
Oh, that's right. After he got suspended, the Eagles signed him up, and they're like, "Hey, if you get out of trouble there, you can come play for us." All right. Yeah, there goes that 6th round pick. All right, never mind.
So, who do the Colts? Who are they going to draft?
I have no idea what's on Ballard's mind. You know, we got a good O-line. I think we need some wide receivers. I think that's where we're going to go because all the pieces are in place. You know, the defense is, everybody can agree last year was a pretty good defense, kept them in games that maybe they shouldn't have been in with Gardner Minshew. And, Gardner Minshew didn't do great. As much as it was fun for Randy to say all those nice things, it wasn't great.
Randy's biased. He likes the guy.
Yeah. So, I'm thinking we need the offensive weapon. So I would not be surprised if the Colts take a wide receiver with the first pick and maybe some other picks down the road.
Tight end, maybe?
We got I've
seen Brock Bowers from Georgia as a mock.
We got a couple of good tight ends already. And of course, I don't know, as long as we didn't lose them, they had Mo Alley Cox and who's that other guy? We got some big goofy white guy, not Jack Doyle.
I think you still have him, but
do we still have Jack Doyle? Oh, okay, then that's the goofy white guy. So, but you're thinking? So people are saying the Colts might take.
I've seen a couple of mocks that have Brock Bowers, which he's pretty special.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at that because there's a lot of wide receivers in the draft. We could take a wide receiver in the 2nd round if we want, right?
Yeah, and also Brock Bowers is more receiver than tight end.
Yeah, I agree.
Like he's not a great blocker, so he's probably first year going to be used more as a receiver anyway. And he's just incredibly smart, knows where soft spots and zones are, and he gets there. He stops, he sits down on it, and then the quarterback usually finds him, and then he makes you pay because he's pretty fast and athletic as well. So,
well, you guys are going to hate this. Raven Kid says, Jeffrey, don't be surprised if the Colts trade up and grab Brock Bowers. Well, why would they have to? Would they have to trade up for him?
Just depends. There are some people who think that he's going to go high in the draft. Tight ends are tough. Like
Chris Ballard doesn't like to trade up.
Tight ends are. It just depends on how you feel about the position. Like if you don't like drafting tight ends high, which a lot of GMs don't actually, then he could fall out of the top 10. Like you may not have to trade up at all.
Well, yeah, okay.
Especially since he's not a great blocker, but they have tight ends for that. So it's not.
He's a receiver, like you said.
Yeah,
I trust Chris Ballard. The one thing he's been pretty good at is drafting, and the picks on the quarterbacks, as far as going with these aged veterans, I still don't believe that was ever really his idea. So hopefully we'll get a good draft this year. Yeah, he's been always pretty good at it. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, a little more NFL, and of course, on this date in Big George's sports history, it's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Eucora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health products. Eucora is helping over 100,000 women stay healthy. Ready to join them? Get 30% off at eucora.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. Did you know that the Lund Mortgage Team was founded back in 1999? That's right. They're celebrating 25 years in existence this year. And you know what you have to do to stay in business that long? You have to be good at what you do. And the Lund Mortgage Team is not just good, they are great. They have helped thousands of people save thousands of dollars over those 25 years here in the Valley of the Sun. They only lend in Arizona. And they're mortgage brokers, which means they can shop your rate around. They're not tied to just one set of rates. Mortgage rates can get crazy. They can get high. They can get low. There's good times to strike and there's times to stay on the sideline. Let the Lund Mortgage Team be your coach, be your team leader when it comes to these huge decisions. Call 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940, or you can always check them out at lundmortgage.com. Great website with all the tools you need. Call them today. They're my great friends, and you'll love them. It's the Lund Mortgage Team.
Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harman Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harmon Solar Podcast at harmonsolar.com.
Volunteer now. Help vulnerable and oftentimes overlooked children in Arizona. The Foster Care Review Board is a panel that advises our juvenile courts on the best interests of children in out-of-home care. Volunteer now. You can change the life of a child for the better. Visit azcourts.gov/volunteer to learn about the Foster Care Review Board. That's azcourts.gov/volunteer. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Supreme Court.
Download our free sports app and stay up with all the latest sports news, scores, highlights, and more. Or stream us live anywhere at 1580thefanatic.com. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, Arizona's home for sports.
Stay Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right. Bengals did a thing. The Bengals did a thing that makes sense. Like, you remember Jake Browning?
I do.
Yeah, they re-signed that guy. Yeah, he was a pretty good backup for old Joe Burrows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Wow. It was they did a thing. We had to listen to how the Broncos just have everybody that nobody wants. And the Bengals re-signed a guy who makes sense.
Yeah, but that's not too surprising for the way the Bengals have been run lately.
I'm just saying, that's not the kind of news you hear anymore. It just seems like a lot of really dumb things happening lately.
Well, but the dumb things are coming from the teams that are desperate for a quarterback because they're either not in position to get one or they don't have one already. The Bengals don't have to be desperate because they already got Joe Burrow. So you can do, reasonable things after that.
By the way, his Suns are just hanging on to their 5-point lead right now. They're just hanging on. I'd like to see a little more distance in those scores, please. Tyreek Hill, I'm starting to think this man is insane. Has he gotten some concussions? Is he going the way of the Antonio Brown? By the way, Antonio Brown got blocked by Caitlin Clark the other day. I can't even tell you what he said that caused that.
I can't tell you either, but he's been harassing her for a while, apparently.
Isn't the hell
like not just like recently, since like a year ago. He's just been
like, how? What's he saying?
Well, he mentioned what her shaving habits might be. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, no,
What's wrong with him?
Antonio Brown is a sick man.
He's insane. He is insane.
Like sick.
So when I tell you
help,
what Tyreek Hill, we've been watching Tyreek Hill acting a little bit erratically. And we already knew he was a domestic violence dirtbag. But now, he's upset about this. He says, I really like Isaiah Pacheco there, He says, I'm a big fan there. And he says, he's good running back, real good running back. He's a dog. You can hear and see him every step he takes. He runs so hard. But I did feel disrespected when he gave them my number 10. Do they really think they're going to retire your number
while you're still an active player? Who has ever had that?
They're never going to retire his number.
They never are. But if they were, and they're not, but if they were, you're not while you're still playing. When has that ever happened?
He says, I felt disrespected. I didn't like that. There's only 110 now. And there should only be 110 in your hearts.
Okay. You're 10 for another team.
Maybe if the Chiefs suddenly were losing games and not getting Super Bowl wins, then they'd be like, oh, we sure miss him so much. Oh, the mistake we have made. They're doing just fine. Just fine without you there, Tyreek. So I think he's got a bit of the CTE or the CRAZY. One of the two. CTE could cause the crazy. That's what I'm asking. If he's had concussions,
or he's just a narcissist. I mean,
that's very possible.
Which doesn't require CTE at all.
This is making it more and more difficult to realize who's just an a-hole for no reason and who maybe we should give a little pity to. I think we need to give pity to Antonio Brown, but you still have to hold him accountable for his actions. It's a tough weirdness when you're dealing with somebody with a brain injury. Like, I don't want to let Antonio Brown get away with the crap he says, but then I also understand he got his brain knocked loose.
And he's not someone who's using it to make an excuse, because I think he thinks he's fine. And that's the part that makes it sad, is that he thinks he's all right. He thinks everything he's doing isn't weird at all, which, harassing a college athlete about
escaping,
quite literally what happens in their pants is not okay or
weird.
Normal.
And assuming things about them that reminds you of the 80s. I'm just saying that's
buying an indoor football team and then bankrupting the team inside of 45 days. That's not normal.
We got to get better at diagnosing the CTE. And I wonder, here's a question, and I hate to take away anybody's freedoms or liberties, but if it turns out you have damaged your brain to the CTE and you act in certain ways that maybe you need supervision. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need some guidance.
Yeah, it's not even like
somebody who can tase you if needed.
I don't even know if it's that, because like you look how many guys that had the CTE that committed suicide and other things. It's just like
another reason to maybe
you might need somebody to keep an eye. Yeah, I'm serious. I think that's something that we might need to start considering.
We go two ways. We get angry at Antonio Brown and we feel sorry for Antonio Brown because we know that man has had some concussions. And you think, well, some of this has got to be CTE. And the questions are, was he crazy back when he was in college before the concussions?
Yeah, but not this.
Was he crazy in high school? You know what I'm saying? So
it's like,
how do you know who is just, like you said, a narcissist and who is CTE crazy?
When he became a Raider, it started escalating at a level that is just like every time you think Antonio Brown can't find another level of insanity, he does, to the point where it's like, I don't think this is even in his hands anymore.
This doesn't look good. Phoenix Suns 51, Minnesota Timberwolves 50. They got a 1-point lead going into halftime. This is not where we want to be.
Did you see Durant walking off? He's looking like, what else do I have to do here? He had that look on his face. Like they've given everything they've got and they just can't get separation.
I wonder who's struggling tonight.
Some of the so they blew the Timberwolves out last game of the season, but like the other two games looked more like this one than that one. So if you take the two blowouts as outliers, you're just like, okay, they play close games.
All right. I'm not panicking. I'm not saying that they're going to lose. No. Just not thrilled. Raven Kid.
I think that's well within your rights there.
Raven Kid says it'd be one thing if the Chiefs just gave away Tyreek Hill's number to a guy who barely made the roster, but he's their starting running back and he's pretty good at his job.
It doesn't even matter if the guy barely made the roster. You are not on the team.
I would just turn my head and go, "Oh, that's the guy." And I just laugh. I'm like, "Good job." I don't think I would care.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think Tyreek Hill's just insanely arrogant. That's just all that is.
Like when I get fired from this gig, I'm going to do the same thing. I'll look back at who they replaced me with and go, "Good job." Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1954 at Busch Stadium, Hank Aaron hit the first of his 755 career home runs in his 7th major league game. A lot of other stuff nobody cares about, blah, 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 blah. Back to me, Jeffrey. Yeah, there's just a lot of more. He's a kind of over historying us. I mean, do you care who pitched that to him? No, nobody cares. Do you remember old Vic Rashi from the Braves back in 1954?
Big name, yeah.
No.
Big name.
No. So I might have to start editing some of these things a little bit.
So you're going to edit Big George.
Yes.
You kind of have to. I don't know if you've noticed, Big George has a tendency to write novels.
Yeah, his text,
sentence would do.
Yeah. And by the way, he gives me alternates. Sailing is not a sport, Ralph. I mean, George. Yeah, both of you. Yeah, both of you need to hear this. No, sailing is not a sport. And let's see. If you scroll down, bowling, not a sport. That's another one that he has. He did put a Lakers thing in there, but I mean, as much as I like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I'm not reading this. I'm just saying.
So we've got Hank Aaron.
Yep, you got Hank Aaron getting his first home run.
And you got Vic.
Yeah, Vic.
And Vic. Yeah.
Good old Vic.
I don't remember his last name.
See what I'm saying?
Who we know very well, Vic. That Vic.
We miss you, Vic. The family of Vic Rashi is like, they talked about him. They talked about great grandfather. Oh. Good old Vic.
Mm-hmm.
Got lit up.
Finally getting that shout out
by Hank Aaron.
It's the only thing we know him for, and tomorrow we won't even know him.
Neither of us are going to get mentioned in anybody's on this day in anything history.
I'm okay with that.
75 years from now. This day in radio history, Keon Rose screamed for a good 20 minutes because one of the texters on the text line said if.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened.
It's a little bit what happened.
No, it's the attitude I was mad about, not the if.
How are you reading attitude? I read the text.
The attitude was defeatist. The attitude was woe is me, depressing.
I don't like your attitude.
And I come from the East Coast, the radio I grew up with. It's just not how we roll, man.
Uh-oh. Beer Bob says, hey, I care about Vic Rashi. That's my great grandfather.
Sure. Shout out 70 years in the making.
I believe him.
Or whatever the number is.
I have no reason not to believe him. Baker's Cocky Hen says, son's body language is always that of a loser.
Wow.
Like the team that last night was down 20 and just crying about fouls.
Don't recall that.
Talk about a loser. All right, that's it for us. We will see you back in your radios again tomorrow at 3 p.m. Go Suns. Here's hoping. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Good night.